I will say every person in the world should go to jail at least a day or a week.
Should I rob something right now?
When I was in prison, I will watch Malcolm in the Middle. First day on set, you'll see Bryan Cranston over there sitting on the director chair. And then I see him and I told my brother, like, hey, look, that's the guy from Malcolm in the Middle. Then we got the strike. I honestly think that the whole strike, I think we kind of went backwards. That could have been what we should have gotten back in 2017.
Are you still making residuals from Breaking Bad?
I'm still making a little some here and there.
Let's say there's a young Latino boy, he immigrates here and he wants to be the next big actor. What steps does he need to take to get recognized?
Acting school. Try to really learn the game.
How do you learn the game?
I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Nobody really knows. So this is kind of like, should I say it?
Say it, bro.
You know
Say
what?
it.
Fuck it.
Daniel Moncada is best known for his iconic role as one of the terrifying Salamanca twins in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. From the streets of Honduras to Hollywood spotlight and now streaming on Twitch, his story is raw, inspiring, and authentically badass. Daniel Moncada. I love that.
How you doing, brother?
What's up, brother? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. It's been a long time. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming, bro. It's been a hot minute. We've had a fun history in the past, you know, with a dope video with a bunch of amazing Latino, you know, superstars.
It was legendary. It was legendary,
man. It was you. It was a Tyga and YG thing, and there was you and
Danny Trejo, David Labrada.
And then you weren't there, but we did. Carlos Santana was on the song too.
Oh man, I missed it.
Yeah, that was a pickup day in Vegas. So we did all the stuff with you in LA, and then we went to Vegas for the Santana stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Santana. You guys left me out. That's I can't forgive you for that,
bro. It's okay. You shined in the video, man. You shined, and you know I was able to meet you and work with you, and I'm super impressed, man. I have so many questions, not just from that experience of working with you, but just seeing you put on your actor hat and really like get in the zone. And dude, I'd love to explore all those things through this conversation, from acting to life, and more importantly, how you were able to really, you know, create a career out of this for yourself. But we'll get to that in a sec, you know. But first and foremost, there's a few things that I kind of have been doing my research on. And the first thing, obviously, that, you know, is important to talk about is your upbringing. To me, I feel like your upbringing defines everything about you, right? Obviously, Breaking Bad was a big point for your life, for your career. But before that, you know, there was Daniel Moncada before Breaking Bad, and there's Daniel Moncada after Breaking Bad. So I'm wondering, the Daniel Moncada leading up to that, right? Who was that person, and where's your origin? Where are your roots? You know, where's your family from? All that stuff, you know?
Okay. So the origins, I was born in Honduras. I came at the age of 11 to the United States. My mom, you know, migrated to the U.S. I was about maybe like 4 years old when she came to the States, and it's crazy because she did it all by herself. She migrated to the U.S. She worked, and she finally ended up saving and brought us to the U.S. legally, which is really hard to do. I mean, a lot of people, you know, you gotta cross the border and everything. No, but she didn't want us to go through first that the trauma, maybe something happened to us, getting raped, getting abused physically, or even maybe getting killed, right? So she was she took her time, I think maybe like about 7 years to get everything together, got our papers, our residence, and all that, passports and everything, all situated. But it was really crazy because she could have easily just said, oh, you know what, I'm gonna get this. Can I say bad words here?
Bro, you can say whatever you want.
Can I get these motherfuckers over here to the United States? And but no, she was like, she wanted for us to make it safe and not be harmed on the way over here. So she got everything together, like I said, like about 7 years, and then finally we came to the States. You know, It's funny because when we first came to the States, you know, in my country, it was, man, I have so many thoughts in my head right now. So many things are floating. So, for example, I'm gonna give you guys a little thing. A lot of kids over here in the United States, they're really spoiled. You know, they don't get what they want. They don't have their phone when they're fucking 13 or 12. They start making a fit. Like, you know how it was when I was growing up? 13-year-olds were like, let's say, playing soccer outside in the street.
Yeah.
And people gonna think this is a lie, but it's actually a lot of research, and there's actually a movie is called Voces Inocentes. So if you're like anywhere from 13 and 14 and up, if the military passes by in a big truck, and if they see you playing or anywhere, they'll just snatch you. They won't even ask the parents, can I take this guy? Or there's no permission. They just basically kidnap you and take you to the military. And then
At that age,
they'll just take you. And
Really?
then the kids like me that are like 9, 10, they can't take us because we're too small, right?
So there's an age minimum.
There's an age little thing, yeah. So if you're like anywhere from 12 and up, 13, 14, 15, they'll take you. They'll just snatch you.
You're telling me a 13-year-old can be in the military in Honduras? Really, that
Well,
young?
you're not supposed to, but they'll take you. They just take you.
Really? Do they take you and train you until you're 18, or is it just like you're in the military, you're 13, you're going to war if we have one tomorrow?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they'll train you, and the thing is that in the way they train you, they don't really just train you like military. They'll train you to be a little bit of an animal. So it's kind of crazy because
Yeah.
once you teach a kid that, it stays in their head.
Of course.
And then they just become either bad or good, but mostly they'll be bad. And they'll come. Then the thing is, when they take somebody like that, right? They take a kid, and then me, for example, if I seen that kid get taken away, I gotta go tell the family, hey, they took your son.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we will, like, the younger kids will be what we'll call the guide or whatever. I would, for example, if I see the military or something, I will like run to the next guy and be like, hey, go to another young kid and be like, hey, go tell everybody over there that they're coming. And then people, like, the kids would just run or go on their bikes and go kind of spread the word so everybody could just hide. It's crazy, man.
So they're really anti-military, or not anti-military. They're afraid of the military because they know that if they see you, they could almost not even recruit you. They could just almost take you away.
Yeah, it's like a recruitment, but against your will. They just take you.
Yeah.
You could cry, you could throw a fit, you could try to run, and they'll just take you, which is very unfortunate. But that's one of the kind of how I grew up. So, like I was saying, a lot of kids over here are spoiled. Oh, if I don't have my phone, I'm 13 years old. I'm supposed to have a phone. I got to be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or TikTok. It's like there was no such thing when I was growing up. And then I came at the age of 11. I came here, and this is where when it all started.
Mhm.
I came to the States, and it was, you could say, a little bit shocking, because when I first went to school, I was scared, man. I was shitting my pants when I went to school, because I'm like, first I didn't speak English. And second, the way I was dressed, I was not dressed like everybody else. You know? I didn't speak English. I was not dressed the way everybody else was, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I came, and I was gonna go to 5th grade, right? So I went. My grandma dropped me outside, and I seen everybody, on the other side of the fence, and I'm looking, and everybody's just dressed different. You see all kinds of ethnicities, and I was so nervous, and I went in. And actually, that was another time. But the first time I went in, this is a funny story. First time I went in, my mom took me, right, and I was so nervous. I didn't want to go
to school. Yeah,
I didn't want to go because I was like so scared. I was gonna go to class, and then I had the shits, bro.
Oh.
I was so scared I had the shits. So I was like, I gotta go use the restroom, and so when I went into the door of the restroom, and I told my mom, like, can you come in with me? She's like, I can't come in. It's only for kids. I was like, go in there and do your thing. And I was so scared. And finally I went in, took my poop, whatever. I got out, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was so scared. I washed my face, and I was like, okay. And then I went to class, and it was kind of cool. Then little by little I started, like I said, I was like an outcast.
Yeah.
So I started getting picked on in school.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I started getting
always
picked
like
on.
That, man.
It was bad, because I really wanted to do well in school, because I wanted to make my mom proud.
Of course.
And I would have all the kids, when we were waiting in line, I just wanted to follow the rules. So I would just kind of like stay there, like, waiting for us to go in.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would make fun of me that I was just a square. And then next thing you know, they started just hitting me in the back. And that's one thing you don't let do. Like, you don't let nobody just tap you or hit you, because then everybody's like, oh, I could do it too.
Yeah.
And then one person did it, and next thing you know, started having more kids do it. And next thing you know, they started kind of punching me. I don't know what to do till one day I just got tired of it, and I just started swinging for the fences.
Oh, you
and
did?
that was the last time they ever like tried to touch me.
Wow. Did
Yeah.
you get in trouble for that?
No, because I didn't get caught.
Okay,
I didn't
okay.
get caught, and nobody wanted to rat me out. Nobody ratted me out, so it was like, but it was like super quick. It's not like I was like, oh,
I know,
messing
yeah,
it, but
yeah.
it was just like bang, 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 and then
Teach them a lesson real
and
quick.
then and they were kind of like, oh, we can't touch you no more. And after that, I told myself, if they hit me, I'm gonna hit back, because I was getting tired of it. First, it was embarrassing, then I was really scared because I don't wanna get expelled because I came from another country, and but yeah, man.
This is LA, right?
This is in LA, yes. Actually, like in Hollywood, yeah.
Hollywood. Yeah, this makes me reminiscent of my own family. I'm first generation, so I was born here, but I have little cousins who immigrated here around the same time. One of them came when he was 12. One of them came when she was 11. One came around 13, I think. I'm somewhere around that age, right? And I remember they were acclimating to a different country, and most importantly, a different culture, right? I think in certain cultures, there's a level of discipline and family values and respect. They came from Iran, right? So coming from the Middle East, there's a whole different set of values than there are in America, especially with kids, right? Kids here are wild. Some of them say racist things, and it's because they learn it at home. So for me to see my little cousins going through that, it painted a picture a little bit. I mean, I empathize for you, bro. I'm sure it was insane, and I'm sure the culture shock was crazy, right?
It is very shocking because it's funny because I'll tell you another one. It's like when I first came here, my mom brought us, right. It was like my brothers. I had two brothers, and when I first came, we went into the apartment and we seen the carpet, and we're like, oh shit, we're rich.
Oh wow!
But in reality, like nowadays, you see somebody with a carpet, you're like, oh, you guys are broke. But you come from the States where, we come from Honduras where there is no carpet, there is no cement, there is no granite, it's just dirt and rocks. So you come over here and you see carpet, you're like, wow, we're balling out of control. But it's funny because I look at it, it's like, that was so stupid. But
it's kind of beautiful.
It is because you learn to appreciate the little things in life.
Yeah,
man. It's like after when you say my upbringing, when I wanted to start being kind of fitting and be cool, right? So I went from 5th grade, and I excelled in 5th grade because I was like putting in so much work. My mom, before I say that story, my mom, she would do to us because she wanted for us to learn English kind of like fast. So it was so cool, man. I don't know where the fuck she got this, but my mom was a freaking genius, bro. She would have us do like almost kind of like a contest that she would be like, okay, we're going to have 100 words. And she will give us everybody the same book. We're going to have 100 words. Whoever gets the highest percentage is going to get a Walkman. Whoever gets the second is going to get this, and whoever gets the third is going to get this. But everybody will get a reward. So you better believe it, man. We would like try to like study so much, and then we'll get tested. We'll get quizzed, and then whoever had the better score will get the biggest prize.
That's cool, man.
But it was like, it was fun, because if you tell a kid, hey guys, here's a book, go read it, study, and they're gonna be like, why?
Yeah.
I like Spanish, I don't want to learn English. And then that's how it was till we started kind of like learning more. Then I went to school. I went from 5th grade to 7th grade. I skipped 6. And when I went to 7th grade, that's when I started kind of messing up. At the beginning, I was doing okay. Then I started kind of meeting people, and I wanted to be cool. And I started messing around, and next thing you know, from there, I went to Juvenile.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I made a few mistakes. I thought I was a badass. And
can I fill in some gaps here real quick?
Yeah.
So your mom raised you it seems like she cared for you a lot, right?
A lot.
Was your father in the picture, or?
No.
So
No, that was
solely raised by your mother,
solely
you and
raised.
2 brothers, right?
Yeah.
And then it seemed like she incentivized you to be studious and learn the language. And it seems like you had a good path.
Yeah.
Can you explain real quick the jump from 5th grade to 7th grade? Did you skip a grade because you were smart and ahead of your classmates?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like I said, when I first came in, I really wanted to make my mom proud.
Yeah.
So I would just try my hardest just to do whatever I could in school, and I was always like top 3 in the class.
No way.
And the thing is, I was in a 6th grade class, but I was in 5th grade.
Oh, I see.
So they were like,
You were the
okay, well, it
youngest.
makes sense. You're basically in a 6th grade class, but you're in 5th. So I mean, you're already putting in the work. So I skipped 6. So it was pretty cool because I was like, oh shit, I feel smart. I don't know what happened, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't know what happened now, but
Damn. So it seems like once you skip the grade, you go to 7th grade. That's middle school, junior high. Was that just meeting the wrong crowd who took you down a bad path, or?
I guess yeah, meeting the wrong crowd and this just trying to be cool because I really like playing basketball, soccer. I was really into sports when I was younger, and I would always, I mean, I was a freaking nerd. I would collect like when I would take the bus home. My mom didn't have a car, right, and she was working, and we didn't have a dad, so she never got anybody. She never got a spouse after my dad. So it kind of feels weird saying that because I never really like say dad or father, but he wasn't around, so my mom was always working. So we had to take the bus from school or back home. So I would always read the newspaper, sports. So I would always read the sports, and I would like always geek out and like see like the statistics. And I would just cut little pages of the statistics, so I would know like all the statistics on football, soccer, and baseball and basketball. And I would go home and then like I say, I would just kind of study. Then I started playing a lot of video games. I started like playing video games. I would play video games when I was back in my homeland. When I was like 7, 8 years old, I would get in the arcades where you just put
Oh yeah.
well, not the quarter, but we'll put the the
Like Pac-Man
the
and
coins
stuff.
and the Pac-Man, Donkey Kong. So I've been doing the whole gaming for like a long time, and then we started growing up, and like a 7th grade, we were like play a lot of games too. We'll play Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and all that stuff. And I started going to 7th grade. I started just kind of meeting like people that I thought they were cool, the way they dressed, they would get the girls, they were popular. So you're like, I want to kind of be popular too, because I don't want to be an outcast, I don't want to be what they call they call it a paisa, It's like it's basically like a person that just came from the country that doesn't speak English. So I wanted to be cool and fit in, and that led to kind of getting in a little bit of trouble and going to jail and all that. So
damn, dude. It's tough. It's tough just being in that crowd and getting into that stuff. But were you in jail? Like, was that kind of like a one and done thing where you're in, you learned your lesson, you got out, or did that lead you down a path? If you're okay talking about it. I know I'm getting deep, bro.
No, I'm an open book. No. I think is I didn't learn the first time.
You didn't learn.
I didn't learn. I went in, I did my thing. And to be honest, man, I kind of like, as crazy as it sounds, it was kind of a little bit of fun because you kind of see so many different things. You see
prison was fun.
Yeah, and Juvenile hall, because you see like kids from all different kinds of places, and sometimes you kind of hate it because they kind of you think they're picking on you. Because I was not from a gang, and most of kids that are in there, the gang members, so they will kind of like pick on me because I wasn't from a gang, and they will kind of want to fight me. So I would kind of fight. I fight motherfuckers, I would try not to get caught. We'll kind of like scrap in the restroom or something. We just let's go to the restroom real quick, and get out. And then I'm like, cool. And they were like, oh, this motherfucker down. He's not from a neighborhood, but this motherfucker down. Because I would be like, hey, fuck it, let's get down. So then you got little stories of I don't know if should I do it? Okay, fuck it, I'll do it. Okay, so in juvenile hall, at least when I was in camp, right, they don't have rooms. They have like walls that separates the bunks from this bunk, and there's like a wall, and there's another bunk here. And then sometimes kids are being kids. They're like anywhere from 14 to 17 and some 18. But if an 18-year-old gets in a fight with a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old could, if he hit that 17-year-old, could get hit for an assault on a minor. It's crazy.
Right.
But it's crazy because, like I said, there's a wall, right? And then let's say I'm laying right here, and if I want to be an asshole, I could like get a glove, a latex glove. I could just pee in it and just tie it, and I could just throw it and see who it lands on. So kids would kind of do that sometimes.
Really?
And some of them will use they call the fifi. I don't know if you're familiar with the fifi. Basically, how can I say it? A pussy pocket. So you make out of a towel. You get the towel, you put the glove, and you kind of roll it.
Yeah.
And you make that, and then the kids will masturbate with it. They use it, and then they will tie it, and then we just throw it and see who. So it's kind of crazy, man. And luckily for me, I know. Imagine, in some were such an assholes that they would just leave it open. So instead of tying it, they would just leave it open. They would just throw it to see who will land on. So you think about it, it's like I didn't want to get into trouble, but if somebody would have done that to me, I would have like right away. Even if I get cut out, like, we're scrapping, bro.
Yeah,
you're just fucking peed on my face, on like literally. So yeah. But
I'm sure there's repercussions for them too, though, right?
Oh yeah, but if they get caught, they'll probably. I don't even know what the write up will be, but I'm gonna go back to your questions.
Yeah,
I got a little bit of sidetrack over here.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I was just continuing about going to the future. You know, you seems like you had a kind of in a cycle of getting into trouble. It seems, ish.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what you were. Okay.
You know.
So I went to Juvenile hall. Then finally I got out. I try to get my shit together. Right. I got out. I went to work at McDonald's, Pizza Hut, and there was one thing I have always loved is cooking, bro. I have always loved cooking. I started cooking when I started 7th grade, and thanks to my mom, because you know, when you go to school and they ask you like what kind of classes you want to take.
Yeah.
So one of the classes was called foods, which I think was baking, right? At that time in age, it was like 1990. Probably like 1992, right?
This is high school, you said? The high school class?
Junior high.
Junior high class.
Junior high. So back in the days, if you're a guy and you cook, you're kind of like, ugh, you know. So my brothers will make fun of me because I told my mom I want to take the class, but I don't want my brothers or anybody to make fun of me. She's like, doesn't matter what anybody thinks. If you want to take it, just do it and own it. You know, basically what she told me. And I was like, you know what? All right. So I took it. Bam. I go home. I start baking. My brother started making fun of me. He's like, oh, you little girl. And I was like, then I started kind of feeling a little weird. I was like, man, it's kind of, I don't want to think like, you know, I'm inferior, right? Inferior. So, but then I started cooking and it started smelling good. So this motherfucker's over here like, hey, what are you making?
No way.
Yeah. And then I told them, and then they tried it. And the next time I started baking, they were like, what are you making now? So, and they became a thing. And next thing you know, I started kind of exploring more, and I started cooking food. And I've been cooking for like, I don't know, like maybe like 30 something years. But that's one of my passions that I have: cooking, filming, and all that. But before that, after Juvenile hall, I got out. I started working, like I said, in Pizza Hut, McDonald's. Got in trouble again, and then I hit the big house. I went to county jail for like a year and a half on my case. There's a lot of people who don't know this side of me, but I have said it openly public on a stream because I stream on Twitch, but not in you said in the real world. But I was almost kind of like my own lawyer when I was in there, because I was facing life in prison.
You were?
So I had I was facing life in prison. So I had this one guy. He basically gave me the whole rundown. Like, look, man, I really like you. I'm gonna cut a little short, right? I really like you. You have two choices right now. You could either be cool like those guys over there, like the essays, or you could just fucking defend yourself and say, because you're fighting for your life right now. I said, if you want to be cool like those guys, you can. Or you could just be selfish and be you and fuck everybody else, and go to law library. If you go to law library, study your fucking case, and you'll know what they could do and what they cannot do. So I told him, yeah, I want to go home. So because he asked me, do you want to go home or you want to be cool? Like half of these motherfuckers, maybe like 99% of these motherfuckers you're never gonna see in your life again, because there's so many prisons in California, and you're most likely gonna get a lot more time than this guy. That guy's probably fighting 5 years. I could probably 10. There, you fighting life, bro.
Being cool in prison,
these guys.
Being cool in prison sounds like the worst thing ever.
Oh no,
you must be jaded from reality if you want to be cool in prison, right?
Yeah, it's not the thing, man. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to be cool. I want to get my freedom back. So he basically like gave me the whole rundown, like the blueprint of how to do it. So he's like, look, you're gonna go to a law library. You're gonna study this book. You're gonna study. He started writing everything on it. You're gonna study this book. You're gonna write this one. Look at the Black's Law Dictionary. Look at cases that are kind of similar to yours. And he's like, as soon as we finish breakfast, he said, you see that button right there in the cell? He's like, I said, yeah. You come in, you press that fucking button, and you call them. And that basically the person in the booth, right?
Yeah.
So you press the button, and you tell them you want to go to law library. If they tell you no, that it's busy, then keep on doing it till you go. Once you get there, you stay there till they kick you out. Don't leave because you get bored in an hour. Trust me, once you get there, it's gonna be overwhelming because you're gonna see so many books. You're not gonna really know what to do. But I wrote everything down for you.
Yeah.
And you're probably gonna get bored because you're gonna be searching for something that you don't even know. But little by little, you'll get the hang of it. Stay there. Be hard on yourself, and stay there till they kick you out. Till somebody else calls in. So I would stay there like religiously, bro. Like every freaking day, even in the weekends, I would do it. Next thing you know, I'm over here telling my fucking lawyer what the fuck to do, and she was like,
how'd you meet this lawyer?
It was just the guy that was in. It was just the guy that was
public defender.
Yeah, but it was. Oh, sorry, that I'm thinking that the guy that, because he was kind of like a sort of like a lawyer. The public defender was just.
But who gave you the advice? Sorry, I just want to know.
Oh, sorry. The person that gave me the advice was an inmate.
Oh, an inmate.
An inmate. Sorry, I didn't get that. But an inmate gave me that advice. So when I started telling my public defender those things, because he told me, look, man, the guy that gave me that advice, right? He said it was Andre. He was like, look, the way it is, anywhere you go in California, it's like they're gonna see you and they're gonna want to throw away the key. It's like they don't care if you go home. See, the public defense, they get paid regardless if you go home or you don't. So they went to study law. They came over here and they kind of forgot the morals of the whole system of being a lawyer. They forget because they get paid regardless if you go to prison or not. If you don't, if they really got to do the work, they really have to work, and they're gonna get paid the same. So why are they gonna work when they get paid the same? Unless they're really like loyal to they have morals. If they have morals, they're gonna try to like really try to fight for you. But most lawyers, they kind of lose it once they see that they're gonna get paid the same. So they're gonna throw away the key. Yeah.
Do you think some public defenders? I don't want to go off too much on a tangent, but are some public defenders? Do you think they are less motivated when they know that there's absolutely no chance for you? You know what I mean? Like, is there a situation where a public defender knows this guy's 100% extremely guilty, he's completely in the wrong, he deserves to be in jail? Does that happen? Is there that influence, you think?
It all depends on the morals of the lawyer.
Yeah.
If they kind of and obviously the person is being accused of whatever crime they're being accused of. Because if let's say, for example, if I'm getting prosecuted, of course I'm gonna tell the public defender, no, I have nothing to do with it, and they're gonna be like, and then probably tell a sob story, and they'll probably feel sorry for me. If the lawyer has morals, she'll be like, maybe this guy's not guilty, maybe I should help him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because nobody's gonna say I was guilty.
Of course.
Especially to a public defender.
Of course.
Public defenders are something else, man. I was in a county that had the highest rate of conviction, the highest conviction rate, and luckily I'm here because I followed that guy's blueprint and was able to almost kind of be my own lawyer. And
an inmate gave you a blueprint. Was he an attorney too?
No, he was just a guy that got fucked so much like other guys, and he studied the law.
He didn't get out though, did he?
To be honest, I didn't keep up in contact with him because I ended up getting in trouble, and they sent me somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
And he it's funny because he was fighting life for getting caught with a 20 sack of cocaine.
Really?
He was fighting a third strike, which third strike basically means you're gonna probably go to jail for the rest of your life, which is crazy, right? For a 20 little bag of cocaine.
Really?
He was fighting life in prison.
That's insane. Do you think his first 2 strikes were bad for like other things, or
not.
probably cocaine related, or?
He didn't really have anything violent, so it's not like he was a threat to society. He's just somebody that got into drugs and they made wrong choices and was a little bit of a drug addict. But he was a very smart dude, and I thank him so much for. I don't know if he's alive or not. I don't know where he's at, but if he is, that he's the reason why I'm still free.
I see.
You know,
I saw you. There was another interview you did, and you said everyone should experience prison to value freedom more.
Yes, absolutely. I will say, like every person in the world should go to jail at least like a day or a week, just so they could value life and appreciate the little things in life that you take for granted every day.
I'm gonna rob should I rob something right now?
Just go in the parking lot. Hey, what about him? You just robbed him. Listen. Hey, so press charges, and then when you go to court, say no, it wasn't him.
Listen, in LA now, there's that rule. If I think it's $950 or less, right? You're not going to be convicted or prosecuted.
They can't. It's like, really, bro? So I could just literally go to the store right now and kind of look at the prices, like $8.99. Well, plus tax is $8.70 and $9.75. So I can't rob you. I can't rob it. It's like, I don't understand, bro. Like back in the days, you take a candy.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
Now it's like they have a cap. It's like, it's so...
It's interesting. It's an interesting law or rule or whatever it is, you know?
It's so stupid, man. It's so stupid. And like we were saying, the whole thing about going to jail, everybody should have that just to appreciate life. Another thing is get punched in the fucking face.
You're saying it's good? You saying everybody should get punched?
Yeah.
Like so someone should punch you in the face.
And get punched in the face because it makes you humble. It makes you like, oh, shit. Because a lot of people think, they want to be keyboard warriors, the whole TikTok, Instagram. They want to talk shit to everybody. Till they get punched in the face. Like Mike Tyson says, your whole game plan goes out the door once you get punched in the face. But you want to talk all that shit on social media by somebody, but you don't say it in real life. So somebody punches in the face, be like, so, because I train mostly boxing, a little bit of martial arts here and there. I go to the gym that I go to. 818 Boxing is right here in Pacoima. We try to help the youth because I myself was a product of my environment, right, so to speak. I'm not gonna say, it was because I didn't have a dad or no. I can't play the victim. When I got out, I had a choice. I had a choice too, and to either be like a lot of other dudes that get out and they're gonna be the victim. Oh, I went to jail because the fucking cops. No, I went to jail because I went to jail.
Yeah,
I made a lot of bad choices. Some of them I was not guilty. Some of them maybe I was.
Yeah,
but I can't play the victim and say it was a cop's fault. If I wouldn't being around the wrong crowd or doing stupid shit, I wouldn't have got popped. But before, back in the days when I was younger, I would always listen to the older homies, right? And be like, oh yeah, fuck the cops. You got all these songs about fuck the cops, fuck the police. And you think, oh yeah, fuck the police. But in reality, it's like, if you're not doing anything bad, you shouldn't be worrying about getting apprehended by the police. Like right now, I could get in my car, I could drive away, and anywhere I go, I don't have to worry about the cops like apprehending me. I actually have friends that are cops now.
Wow.
I have like at the gym that I go to, there's cops right there that go and I help them like get ready for fights. I help them like sparring. I help them hold the inmates. It's a beautiful thing, man. Everybody is like the same. The only thing that separates us is our profession.
Got it.
You know?
Totally.
Because if like say for example, I said it before, right? So if I was to get a knife and I was to cut myself open, what would happen? I will fucking bleed.
Yeah.
If I was, what would happen to you? You will bleed. Doesn't matter what profession you are. If you fucking drink, you're gonna fucking pee. If you're gonna eat, you're gonna shit. You know. But everybody was, oh, I'm better than you because I'm an actor, and you're a janitor. It's like, maybe a janitor now, he could be the owner of the studio later on.
Right.
So,
right.
Everybody needs to be treated. Like, there's one thing I learned from the guy I told you that helped me with the whole blueprint of the getting myself out of jail. And I live by this. Treat people the way you want to be treated.
100%.
And then once you start getting big or whatever, don't forget where you came from.
Of course.
Once you forget where you came from, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
What makes you better than anybody else just because, oh, I have a bigger house than you? It doesn't matter, bro. When you die, are you going to take the house with you?
Yeah, no.
No.
It's true, man. There's so many people in our industry. I'm sure you've seen it being on a big show that you're on. It's just a battle of egos and a clash of, I don't know. It's constant clashing, I feel like.
There's so much clashing, bro. Oh, my God. It's
crazy, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I want to dive into the next journey in your life. You had a tumultuous upbringing. You had to, immigrate to the States. You had to adapt to the culture. It seems like you had some mentors, not only with your mother, but, people that you met in and out of prison. But it seems like the next chapter that unfolded for you, I'm sure there's chapters in between, but one of the main ones was obviously Breaking Bad, right? So what I want to ask is first, before you got the role of Breaking Bad, you had a relationship with your brothers. And I know one of your brothers, Luis, right? He was kind of the catalyst that brought you to Breaking Bad, right?
Yes.
I would love if you could tell me how your brother brought you into the world of Breaking Bad and how all that began for your career.
So my brother had already been acting for like about 7 years, right? So he went to the audition of Breaking Bad, and he already knew the casting director, casting directors, right? There was two of them, and I think he already got casted maybe 2-3 times by him, so they were already cool with him and they liked him. So he went in there, he did his audition. If they like you after the audition, they'll talk to you and ask, hey, how you doing? So they liked him, so after the audition, they were like, hey, Louis, so how's life? Hey, I started asking him a lot of questions. How's your baby? Or any new tattoos? So back then I was doing tattoos, and I barely did a tattoo on his shin right here. So I asked him, any new tattoos? He was like, yeah, my brother did a tattoo on me, and they were looking for twins or brothers or lookalikes.
Yes, so the casting was for twins.
Yeah, they're looking for twins. That was the whole casting. They wanted 2 twins or lookalikes, right? So I think my brother kind of knew that they were looking for that, so he kind of threw it in there. So he's like, yeah, my brother did a tattoo on me, and then he was going to pull up his pant leg to show him because it was I did it on his shin.
Yeah.
Right? And then he was pull up his pant legs, and they were like, wait. And they looked at each other and kind of like, what? And then, you have a brother? He's like, yeah. Does he look like you? He's like, is he as tall as you? Has he ever acted? He's like, nah, he did background one time, but he didn't like it. So they looked at each other like, man, fuck. And then something about the casting director, they kind of thought about it for a second, and then you got the sides, and they gave it to him. It's like, bring him tomorrow. But show his studies. So I'm working security for Sarah Silverman program. I was on security in MacArthur Park, and then he calls me. He's like, hey, motherfucker. He's like, and he told me the whole story, what happened. He's like, get yourself home. You need to study, right?
Yeah.
Because I would always try to stay to the end, because I didn't have a wife or a kid like waiting for me at home. So I was living with him in the room. And he was like, just get yourself home. Don't try to stay to rap. And I was like, all right, cool. So I called my supervisor, like, hey, I got to go home. I got to do this. Cool. So I got the person to relieve me. I went in, I think at 3-4 a.m. I got off like at 4 p.m. I was driving home. I'm thinking I'm going home, take a nap, right?
Yeah.
My brother's like, no, motherfucker, you're not going to take a nap.
You got to study.
Yeah, you got to study. You know how many people will kill for this opportunity, bro? So in my head, it hadn't clicked, right? But after he said that, I was like, okay, cool. So he's like, look, you're going to go ahead and go shower, drink some coffee. He's like, study. You're going to feel stupid, he said, but look at yourself in the mirror when you're trying to, we're trying to deliver the lines, and you're like, pretend you're talking to someone. That's what it is. Once you get tired, he said, like, drink some more coffee, maybe take another shower. you get more tired, where you kind of feel like it's getting kind of a little blurry. Just keep going. Trust me. Tomorrow when you go, you're gonna fucking forget everything as soon as you walk in the fucking in the room. I was like, in my mind, I was like, he's exaggerating. This motherfucker exaggerating.
Yeah.
So and he's like, okay, once everything you can't really read starts looking like blurry. He's like, go to sleep. Wake up tomorrow, like 5-6 hours before the audition. He said, and study. Do the same exact thing. Don't worry. We'll come back. You could take a nap on the way home or whatever. Because I was working a lot. Well, sure enough, went to the audition. We park. I was already shitting my pants. I was nervous. and I was on parole, man.
Oh shit!
I barely got out. I was only like a year out. Then I went in for some stupid. I went in for a violation, right? And they gave me a lot of time. I ended up doing like 16 months for a violation, being with the wrong crowd, whatever. So I'm thinking like, man, this could like change my life, change my career, and I don't want to mess up because my I don't want to make my brother look bad, right? It's my big brother, so I'm like, okay, I really gotta do good. But I was getting nervous. I'm like, fuck. And I was trying to remember the stuff. I was looking at the lines. I'm like,
bro, were there even lines? You didn't really say much on the show.
Yeah, no, see, the thing is, I had the scenes of when Tuco kind of beat the guy up.
Yes, I love that scene.
Yeah. Well, that was the scene.
They had you audition with that scene.
You had me audition with those lines. So I'm thinking like, fuck. I'm like, I think I know it, and in my mind I know it, but I was already getting nervous. And that's
a cool audition.
That was a cool audition, man. Yeah. I went in there. All right, action. I fucked it up.
Oh.
Then again, I mess it up again.
No.
And then the casting directors is like, okay, look, Danny, just relax. We know you're not an actor, so this is your first time doing it. Just imagine if this was happening in real life, how would you deliver the lines? If it was a real scenario in real life, how would you say those lines? How will you tell that guy that you're talking to? How will you say that? How will you express yourself? Like, do that. If you forget the lines, just keep on going along. Just kind of improvise and kind of go along with that same idea.
That's good advice.
Same idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. So I was like, cool. We did it again, and that was great. I didn't mess up. Let's do it again one more time. We did it again one more time. I was good.
No way.
Because that right away clicked, right? In my mind, I'm thinking, I got to say the lines. I got to say them perfect. If I say them bad. But it was more like I was just kind of being a robot. But when they gave me that little feedback, it clicked and I did it. And they're like, all right, we're going to bring your brother in and we're going to do some improv in Spanish. We're going to, and we're going to give you a scenario. You guys are going to talk about whatever you guys could come into your head. And we'll take it from there. I'm like, cool. So they brought my brother in. They gave us a scenario, and they told us to speak Spanish and everything, and we did a thing. And after the audition, we talked a little with them, and then the next day, the agent calls. You guys were the favorite for LA. You guys got it for LA, but they're gonna do auditions in New Mexico because they wanted to cut down on the cost from like flights and hotels and all that, right? Because they want to maybe get somebody local that could do the job. They did auditions in New Mexico, and they were like, "You guys are the ones." Then we get the call, like, "All right, you guys got the job."
So dope. That's awesome.
It was awesome. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Nobody really knows. So this is kind of like, should I say it?
Say it, bro.
You know what? Fuck it. The system is always out to fucking get you, man. Like I said, I got out of jail, right? And I kind of planted this here earlier. I said I was on parole when I went over there. I was on parole, so technically I was not supposed to go to New Mexico.
Oh, just to film.
To film. Even though it was a fucking job, right? Yeah. I asked my parole officer if I ever get like an opportunity to work out of state for film or TV shows, because he knew my brother was an actor, right? And he even asked me, "Hey, you think your brother could get me as an advisor or something?" And I told him, I'll ask him. So when he said that, I'm thinking he'll probably understand what I'm, what I'm, that I want to do it, right? because he asked me for an opportunity. So I asked him, if I ever get an opportunity to work out of state for like a film or movie, get into the acting, will you give me permission? He's like, no, why? He's like, there's so much work here in California, in LA, so why are you gonna go somewhere else? He's like, I don't know, maybe less people, maybe a better opportunity because there's less people. You
didn't want to tell him exactly
I didn't want to tell him.
Yeah.
Because I was testing the waters.
Of course.
Because if I was to just tell him, hey, look, I got the job. Hey, can I go? And he says no, then I'm fucked.
Yeah.
So I was testing the waters to see what he was going to say.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, I wouldn't. He's like, well, he said, why would I let you? He's like, well, your supervisor, which was at my previous when I was on parole before I went to a violation, I had another parole officer, and she ended up moving up in the ranks, and now she was that guy's supervisor. I told her, no, you know what, your supervisor, and I gave him the name, Miss Carter. She actually gave me permission before to go out of state when I was working as a mover in a moving company. I went with my brother in the moving company, and one of the truck fucking burned on us, bro, in the middle of fucking Arizona. He just fucking started burning. And
what?
Yeah, but the parole officer told me, look, are you sure that you're going to out of state for work? Or because if you get caught with anything, man, if you get caught with any guns or any drugs, I'm not gonna be able to help you. So it's like, no, it's just for work. So yeah, sure enough, I went, I came back, and it was cool. So I already knew that I could go out and stay for work.
Yeah.
So I wanted to come clean to this guy and tell him that I'm gonna go out for work for acting. No, that I wanted to. And he said no. And then I like I said, I told him about that situation. He's like, nah, I would never ask my supervisor, because why is she gonna say no? Then I'm gonna feel stupid. Why? It's like, I don't know, maybe because there's better opportunities for people like me because there's less competition. He's like, nah.
So how did you convince them to go to act?
I didn't.
Oh,
he just said no, and I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm just not gonna tell him.
Did the studio even ask for permission? Did they know you're on parole? Oh, they didn't.
They did not.
They didn't do background checks or anything.
It's not their job.
I didn't know how that. Yeah, I didn't know.
No,
that.
it's not. So I ended up going to New Mexico, but on the way over there, bro, like I didn't know if they were gonna check my ID or anything, and I'll get pulled over, and like on the side when I'm going through the whole.
You drove there?
Security, huh?
You drove there?
No, I flew.
You flew, okay.
And when I was at the airport, I'm thinking they're probably gonna just check my shit, and they're probably just gonna catch me. But it was in my mind, I was like, you know what? I went for jail for stupid shit. This is a career, life-changing situation. So if I get popped, I get popped. Hopefully I don't, because I don't want to mess up the opportunity for my brother and mess up the opportunity for me.
Of course.
So I went to New Mexico, and we did our thing, and then we kept on going. Like I did like maybe 7 to 8 different travels, and my PO never found out.
Wow. But
he was a fucking asshole though. He basically told me that I couldn't. I was like, bro, it could be a life-changing opportunity. But I didn't tell him that I had the job, because if I'd have told him I had the job,
he could have stopped you.
He could have just be like, you're not going, then that's it. That's it. I'm fucked.
You kind of did the right thing.
Yeah.
You did what you had to do, and
I had to.
And dude, that's insane, bro. The fact that you did that and he still didn't understand. I feel like a lot of parole officers don't even care though. They're just so
they don't.
They don't have empathy. They don't.
They want to see you fail and come back.
Yeah.
Why? Because that would assure they keep on getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
And that's very unfortunate. Like statistically, back in the year 2000, when I was fighting my case in county jail, the statistics were projected to be $40,000. The state pays. The state gets paid $40,000 per inmate per year. 40,000, bro.
Wow.
40,000. It must be a lot bigger now. Maybe it's like 50 or 60 because of the inflation, right?
Of course.
But back in 2000, per inmate, 40,000 a year.
Prison is a business, huh?
Prison is a business. That's why they had a lot of prisons that they had private prisons.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were putting money into private prisons till they stopped that. But I mean, I would have put money into a prison because people are always gonna go to jail.
Yeah.
It's just a cycle, you know.
Yeah, man.
And when the thing is, for example, when I got out, I wanted to when I was in there, I wanted to take my GD and everything. I was in at the hardship state prison, and so I took some testing, and I was above average. Like I think average was like, I think like 7, and I was like on 10 point something, right? And they told me like, oh, you qualify if you take the GD and everything, you qualify to be able to go to college, because you have it's got to be less than 5 years to go home, and you got to have a GD, and you got to have your scores as high, like you're way above, I'd say, so you could make it. You just got to take all this testing and everything, and we'll give it to you. And then I was in the level 4 yard, which is basically the highest, level you could get into the state of California. Yeah. And shit kept happening in the yard. And they said I wanted to take it when I was on lockdown, but they said, no, it was a privilege. I can't take it.
I see.
It's like, wow. That sucked. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But they don't. And the sad part about the whole prison system is that, like, for example, California before state prisons was California Department of Corrections.
Yes.
And they added an R. The R is for rehabilitation. There's no fucking rehabilitation. If there would have been a rehabilitation, they would have been like, you know what? You want to get your shit together? You want to go to college? Yes, we could get your test inside when you're on lockdown. Because I was not in lockdown because I did something. It's just something happens, and then everybody gets on lockdown, like the whole race. If, like, for example, one of person from my race just go stab somebody, be like, okay, all you motherfuckers are gonna go on lockdown because this motherfucker stabbed somebody, or because there was a some type of something. But the fact that they don't let you rehabilitate yourself is really sad, because you get out and you're thinking, well, this whole life a crime that I could just continue to do because I have nothing else to. I have no education. Nobody's gonna give me a job. I'll tell you a little quick story, right? I got a little sidetrack.
Yeah. So
there was this one guy, right? When I was fighting my case, this one guy told me a story about one of his homies. He's like, which is really sad if you really think about it. It kind of ties to what I was talking about. So this guy, he already been in jail like 10 years. He has like 1 year left. When you're in there, they ask you to kind of do things. So this guy was like, I'll do it, the stabbing. And you think, why would he want to? And the thing is, you were supposed to get caught. And he's like, why would you want to do it if you're gonna get caught and you only have a year left?
Yeah.
Because that's all he knew. It's sad because he was scared to go home. Because it's like, if I go home, I have to look for a job. I have to look I gotta get a roof over my head. Damn. I don't have anything. Like, I have a lot of tattoos.
It's easier
I don't really
to
have
stay
any
in prison.
education. It's easy because, like I said, the government enables you to stay in there because they get paid.
Oh my God.
It's crazy, right? So he's like, I do it here.
Who asked him to do that?
Some people asked him.
People in the prison.
In prison, they're like, oh, this guy.
They asked him to stab somebody?
This guy has it coming. So he was like.
They asked him to stab someone?
Yeah. So he's like.
And they gave him the weapon?
Honestly, well, it all depends. He could have had one himself, or they probably just gave him one. But here's a weapon. Here's a shank. It's easy to make a shank. I could make a shank out of so many things here. Really? I could make a shank out of one of those books, like a piece of paper.
Really?
I could make you a little spear, and I'll sharpen it with a fucking blade, and I put a little bit of sugar. One hitter quitter. I could make you a shank out of. I could make you a shank out of this. Make a shank out of that. I could make a shank. I could just burn some plastic. It's so easy, bro.
Yeah.
How do you make fire? It's easy. Everything is easy. Like, once you're in there, you learn how to make stuff. You can make a lighter out of, like, you get a cup, you put water, you put salt, you give me like 2 paper clips, and a pencil lead. I make you a lighter that you could plug into the socket,
Yeah.
and you'll be like, damn.
Have you seen those TikTok videos of the inmates making recipes and cooking in prison?
Oh man, the top ramen.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
I
insane.
live by top ramen. I love top ramen, bro. To this day, I still every now and then I kind of dab into a little top ramen. It's not really healthy, but
Guilty pleasure.
bro, guilty pleasure, man. It's see the thing is when I'm talking right now, I kind of start going in flashbacks, so I start like rambling all over the
no,
place.
It's okay. It's okay.
Because
It's very interesting. It's very
It's
captivating stuff.
like
you
right
know?
now I'm looking at the light and I'm just kind of like everything like just flashes before my eyes. I'm just thinking about those things. So the guy ended up he ended up doing that stabbing. He went back to he just like he didn't want to go home. So there's a lot of
Nuts.
people like him that do
Scary.
that, you know, which is really sad because
sad.
like they keep you in there. Why? Because you're in a cell or in a dorm. You have a bed. You have a sheet, you have a blanket, they give you clothes, they give you they feed you 3 times a day. Put it this way. When I was in jail, I would eat better than when I was free in my homeland.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Because I come from a third world country, Honduras, right? So it's like I would eat better when I was in jail than when I was free over there.
I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah.
Because they give you everything, man.
Damn, man. Well, let's bring it back. Just bring it back to, to Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah.
I'm all for these conversations, man. I think it's important to talk about prison reform, the system, them wanting to keep people locked up. It's a very real thing, But again, taking it back to your first big opportunity. Well, first off, I was watching Breaking Bad, and I swear that role was made for you, bro. That role was made for you and your brother. You guys are scary. And it's so dope to talk to you and to see a different side of you. And just when I first worked with you, I'm like, dog, I'm kind of scared of this dude. Because when I saw him on TV, I was like, this guy could pull up and just stab me right now, or fucking pull up with a gun and just shoot me. Like you created such a insane impression of a character. So I just want to give you and your brother your flowers. Y'all crushed it,
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
But this kind of leads me to my next question, and you kind of touched on it already, which is, you did this with Luis, right?
Yeah.
So how was your relationship with Luis on set? How was it like working with your brother on set of one of the biggest shows of all time?
That's a good question. So first off, my brother and I we were like super close, man. Like we were like very close. Like we had a little bit of an incident in Honduras too that I almost lost my life, so to speak. It's like
Really?
I could show it on camera later, but I have like a machete wound
Oh
right here.
shit!
It's machete. A real machete cut me. They cut my bone. They cut all my tendons. I got stabbed here, stabbed here, stabbed here, stabbed here, stabbed here. I got like 3 machete wounds in my back. I got hit right here in the head too.
Oh, how old were you, bro?
I was 16. I was a kid. I was a kid, and so my brother and I were really tight. So when we did the whole thing on Breaking Bad, it was brotherly love. He wasn't too nice to me. He would, because how our brothers are. You talk shit to each other, right? So he would like
tough love.
Yeah, tough love. He was like, "Hey, motherfucker, this is what you gonna do. Ooh, you gotta fuck with." So
and he was the actor, so he probably
was the actor, so he already knew. So he had to kind of be rough with me because you know how I was. I was like really young, and fucking stubborn, a little bit fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So he had to fucking talk shit to me, And I honestly don't think anybody else could have done the job the way we did it because we had such a connection that, like, how like the characters, you could kind of see that they kind of have a connection. They knew what they were. We had that connection.
You did.
We had. So it's like I already kind of knew what he was thinking. So it's like I don't even gotta ask. It's like I already know.
Yeah.
So the camera was able to capture that.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of things that they thought it was like, oh, we did it by mistake. Like when because Vince Gilligan really liked the whole fact that we would do like things in sync, right? In sync.
Always, yeah.
So the reason why is because like my brother I just kind of got to follow whatever he was doing, kind of like, so to speak, right? Because I was new, I was trying to learn the game. So whenever they wanted to do something, I was like, okay, I would just kind of like from the corner of my eye, I would kind of see it, and I would just kind of like when we walk, I try to stay on the same pace, And then one time we did something, and they really, really liked the way we did it because we did it at the same time. And after that, it became a thing. They want us to be in sync, but it was not by mistake though.
Yeah.
I was kind of aware of what was going on, and I was kind of doing it. But the whole thing, like the truck scene.
Yes.
The truck scene, right? When we did the truck scene, it was the second day on set ever. The first day on set, it's a little bit funny. When I was in prison, I will watch Malcolm in the Middle.
Bryan,
you see where he's getting at. You got to see where he's getting at, right? So I will watch Malcolm in the Middle. For those of you that don't know, Bryan Cranston, Heisenberg, Walter White was in Malcolm in the Middle. He was the dad.
Dog,
so I will watch Malcolm in the Middle religiously every day, bro.
Oh no,
because there was not a lot of options. But I at first I thought it was just from outside looking, I'm like, it looks like a stupid show. Till I started watching, I was like, this is actually pretty fucking funny. So we're going on set, right? We're going in the van, which is funny because we're supposed to be going to Mexico, but Albuquerque Studios is right here.
Yeah.
And across the street there was like desert.
Yeah.
That was Mexico. So we were like getting in the van right here, and we would go to Mexico across the street.
Yeah.
And that was where the set was at. So we'll go across, and then we land. We're in like, it's a big space right in the middle.
First day on set, you and your brother.
First day on set.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of green and desert tea, right? We're in Mexico, and then you see Bryan Cranston over there sitting on the director chair.
Oh, was he directing the episode?
Yeah, he was directing the episode too. The first episode that I worked on, he was directing it. So I'm like, I look at him, I get out the van, and we start walking, and then I see him, and I told my brother, like, hey, look, that's the guy from Malcolm in the Middle. And it's funny because right away my brother, he's like, hey, motherfucker, like, hey, stop fangirling, man. What the fuck, you getting serious movie? I was like, oh man,
control,
but
dude.
It was so cool to be able. Man,
that's really funny. Yeah, for you, your point of reference was like that one show, but because when you okay, hold on, when you did Breaking Bad, was it season 3?
Season 3? Yes.
So were there already the 2 seasons that were out?
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
But I'll be honest with you, I had never heard of the show.
Got it.
The first time I heard of the show, even before the like, we didn't know about the show. We found out about the show when we were in the hotel. We were in the hotel room, and I remember, like, you know, because we got to like a day before we were gonna film, and so we started scrolling through the TV, right? And I'm like,
you didn't even research the show before you were on set?
I didn't know what I was doing.
You knew the name of it.
I knew the name of it.
But you didn't know like the hype of it or how.
Well, back then there was no hype.
Was it before it won the Emmys and all that stuff?
Yeah, before.
Got it.
They started winning the Emmys on the season that we were on.
Yes,
that was a huge. And after.
You came in at a great time, bro.
Great time. So when the show was just kind of like, it's just a job, you know. Obviously, it's a new thing for me, but for my brother, it was probably just a job, you know, because it's like,
got it.
You don't know where it's going. Some shows that you work on, they get canceled. Some they're shit, and so there was no hype about the show. So when we went, you know, I'm in the hotel, I'm flipping through the channels, and I seen Breaking Bad. And then at night, I think it was like 9 p.m. So I called my brothers, like, hey, they're gonna show the show at 9 p.m. Cool. After the show ended, that episode ended, we called each other. It was like, fuck.
No.
The first
way.
episode that we ever watched was when spoilers.
Yeah.
When Tuco got killed.
That was the first episode you watched?
Episode we ever watched. So it's kind of crazy because that's what he mentioned. My cousins are coming from Mexico. And it's like, what are the odds of that?
Yeah.
Another thing is, a big coincidence is that tattoo I did on my brother. I did it like a month or 2 before the audition. Guess what it was? It was the Santa Muerte. That was our first episode that we did when we started doing the crawling.
Oh.
I did a Santa Muerte on his fucking shin.
Oh.
And the first episode that we ever watched was when Tuco got killed, when he mentioned us. So it's like,
yeah, that's a crazy coincidence. It's serendipitous. It means it was meant to be, man.
It was meant to be. Like I said, like I know there could have been other guys look alike, but I don't think nobody could ever done the job that we did, and I say it like humbly, because we
Absolutely.
had the connection that we had.
You got to say it, man.
It's funny because it goes back to the question that you asked about how was the relationship we were on set. Oh, every now and then we'll kind of not fight, but he would kind of be a little kind of mean to me. Like I said, brotherly love, because he wanted for me to do good.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to teach me the ropes. Then he was just like, motherfucker, you gotta do this. He was kind of like barking at me. And I was like, sometimes I would kind of get mad and be like, motherfucker. But in my mind, I was like, he's just trying to teach me the ropes. He's trying to teach me the ropes and for me to do good. Because if he would have been nice, it wouldn't have sinked in.
Yeah, you needed that tough love.
I needed that fucking like, motherfucker, like, do this.
Yeah.
So the whole explosion thing, right? Before the explosion was the second day. The first day was when we were in the truck and we got out the truck and we shot the trucker. So we did the scene, bang, kick the door open, and I get out. And then Bryan Cranston say, "Oh, look, you come in, you look left, kind of wipe your sweat, and then shoot him." And then you turn around, and then your spoilers, right? Your brother's smoking a cigarette, and then he turns around, he kind of looks, and you turn around and go get him. Mm-hmm. You go over there, you pull it out, you shoot the motherfucker. Okay, not those words, but you know what I mean. So I did it. And I did it again. There's a lot of takes. We did a lot of takes, and then at one point, Bryan Cranston, right? He's directing the episode. So he comes in. He's like, "Danny, at what point? Do you remember at what point you kind of put it back in the holster, put the gun back in the holster when you were walking back?" And I was like, I was trying to remember, but I really couldn't. At what point, how many steps did I take, or what was I doing? Was I looking left? Was I looking right? For matching purposes, that's super important, right?
Yeah, continuity.
Continuity. I didn't know that. So I felt, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like a little bit like an idiot. And then my brother's like, "You don't fucking remember?" He's like, "Motherfucker, I didn't fucking know,"
Yeah.
And then after that, he's like, it's like, everything you do, you're supposed to remember. Everything you fucking do.
Right.
If you fucking fart, he said, in the middle of a scene, you got to remember you got to fart again just to match.
At this time.
At this time, if you look left, everything's got to be the same. You just got to keep it do over and over till you fucking get it. So they could have options when they edit. So I'm like, okay, that kicked in. So the next day, we're doing, you could say probably like one of the biggest scenes that we ever had in some of the show too, like the explosion, which was super like iconic, legendary, and even to this day I'm kind of like, fuck, that was pretty fucking cool.
Your second day on set,
bro. So I was already like trying to prove myself, because it's like, I already fucked up the first day, I cannot fuck up the second day.
Yeah.
So Bryan Cranston comes in, he's like, basically like you said, the show, if we knew about the show, the show was just a show, and the budget wasn't that great. A lot of people, what they know about the show is that the show ended up going to New Mexico, because New Mexico get the
tax credits,
tax incentives. Yeah, and nobody in California wanted to pick up the show.
Really?
Because it's a teacher, it's about meth, it's about drugs. It's like, so they didn't want to. So the AMC and Sony were like, we'll get it. And then they went to New Mexico, and then
I'm glad they did that. It's better for the show.
Imagine if they wouldn't. You know how much people have like got work, and how many doors have the show open in New Mexico?
Yeah, New Mexico, because of Breaking Bad, has become a popular film destination.
Before Breaking Bad, there was nothing really being shot over there. So the fact that they went over there, that they get the tax incentives, and then a lot of shows started migrating over there. Now New Mexico, New Orleans, Atlanta, they're really big on film, because
huge.
the governors, whatever, they're smart and be like, okay, we'll give you a little incentives,
tax credits, bring jobs here, help boost our economy. Give us money,
come and film, give the residents work, and then we'll get you a cut. So 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 what was I kind of got a little
New
sidetracked
Mexico.
on that.
That's
But yeah,
that's
yeah.
good. I mean, we're leaving LA anyways. Nobody's even shooting in LA anymore. You know, sadly, unfortunately,
it's been so slow due to the whole. First, we had the COVID, right?
Yeah.
Then we had the strike, because I really don't know what they accomplished, but probably they're gonna Germanize. But I don't know.
I want to talk about that later. But yes.
Okay, so that scene. Let me go back. Okay. Relax. Okay, stop. Get your thoughts
Second day
together.
on set, explosion.
Second day, I said explosion. So Bryan Cranston, right? He comes in, and like I said, I wanted to prove myself. So Bryan Cranston comes in. He's like, "All right, guys. So we're gonna do the explosion. We have one truck, one explosion, one take. That's it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, only one truck to blow up, one explosion, one take. It was a one-hitter quitter.
No way.
On top of that, they wanted for us not to flinch. So you think about like, okay, one truck, one explosion, one take. Oh, and not flinch? Okay, cool. So he told us that, and he's like, okay, I will ask you if you guys could please. He was so nice about it. He was like, please, if you can, try not to flinch. It's very important because we only got one truck, one explosion, one take. If you guys could not flinch, it would be so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, cool. Then he leaves, comes back, he gives us more direction. And I remember from the previous day, right? Because my brother told me you got to remember everything.
Yep.
So that clicked in my head. So I asked him, like, okay, Bryan, so you know that, and yesterday I told him, when my brother was smoking a cigarette, he lit up the cigarette and I went to kill that guy. When I came back, that's when I picked up my cigarette. I got my cigarette. I was smoking my cigarette, and like a cigarette doesn't, it takes like a few minutes to keep on smoking a cigarette until it's done.
Yeah.
My brother got rid of his cigarette because when he shot the gas, like I said, spoilers. When he shot the gas, then he had to use the cigarette to ignite the fire. I didn't ignite the fire, so I would, if in my head I'm thinking I will keep on smoking. He looked at me, he's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. With all that going on with the explosion, I don't think nobody would ever really notice what about the cigarette. He left. Then he comes back and he's like, Danny, that was a great idea. If you think about it, only if you think about it, because there's a lot going on. He said, the most important thing is not flinching, but if you think about it, if it comes into mind, after the explosion, if you could just take a drag out of that cigarette like you're walking in the park, that would be amazing. Only if you remember, just a beat or two after the explosion.
Yeah,
it'll be awesome. In my mind, I already had that chip on my shoulder, like you gotta redeem yourself, motherfucker. So sure enough, the explosion is about to go off. The whole scene is we're gonna go on action, and you see everybody just move, bro. Like I said, it was a big space. You see everybody just move like really, really far. Even the fire department, the fire truck, everybody was just started moving like really, really far. Oh my God. And we're thinking like,
that's intimidating. Like,
what's really going on? Because they were not using stuntmen for this. They were actually using us. There was no stuntmen. There was no CGI. There was none of that crap. So we're thinking like, why is everybody going so far? Or like are we like in danger? We're like, fuck it, man.
You didn't get stunt training? You didn't get stunt training or anything, or any?
Well, they kind of talked to us a little bit about the whole thing, and they had done some testing themselves, special effects and all that.
Got it. So
but there was no stunt training. They just knew that we were, like you could say, being around the block. So they
got it.
Got it. And they really wanted for us to do it because so they could see our faces.
Yeah.
If you use somebody else and they can only use it from the back, from the side, or from really, really far, just the image. Yeah.
Y'all thought you were gonna explode.
Yeah, so it's like if somebody's gonna die, it's gonna be you guys. But so it's about to go down, right? So they put the stunt coordinator put some gel on us and everything because it was gonna be a big explosion. Action! Oh, and before that, my brother is like, he started getting in my head. He's like, motherfucker, you gotta remember this, remember that, you can't fuck it up. Remember what happened in Honduras, like the whole thing with the getting. He's like, think about that shit when this happens. Just fucking get in the zone. You do this shit all the fucking time. This is fucking go time. You know, you just do it. He said, don't flinch. Just go. We're in the mission. We do this shit all the time. I'm like, cool. That kind of clicked, right? And then at the same time, I was thinking, don't fuck up. Don't fuck up. Because if you fuck up, just two fuck ups back to back. You cannot mess up. Sure enough, action. Bro, you see things flying in the air. Like you see like a whole leg and like on fire. Just we didn't know that was gonna happen. We started seeing like these things flying all over the place, and then the smoke got so big that all in front of us got dark. And like I said, you seeing like a tire, like a big tire just coming out and just like across, and you started seeing all kinds of stuff, and it's like,
and you can't panic.
You can't panic, you know. There's no flinching, so we just kept going. Then but I was seeing all those things, like it was so fast, right? And then and I was like, "You smoking your cigarette?" We just kept going, and you know, the drag. Sure enough, a few seconds later, cut, and you see Bryan Cranston just running towards us, and he's like, "Oh my God, guys, I can't believe what you just did." He was so happy. He gave us a hug. He started kissing our foreheads. He's like, "Oh my fucking God, you have no idea what you guys just did." And everybody, like, that was when the cousins were born, bro. And everybody was like, "Oh my fucking God." Everybody's like, "How you guys do it?" It's like, we just did it. Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. Salamanca cousins.
Yeah.
Or brothers,
Salamanca
sorry.
Cousins, twins. They call them, a lot of times they say the Salamanca twins.
Twins,
you know?
Salamanca twins, yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Tuco's
so awesome.
cousins, the cousins.
Yeah,
you know?
that's so dope, dude.
It was so good, man.
So I was studying the show. There's actually a video someone made of all your parts, you and your brother's parts, combined from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And in total, I counted around 41 words that you said total throughout the show.
I haven't seen that one. So it's like the words?
It's like all your spoken parts in one YouTube video. I got to send it to you. It's so funny. I think they have every season from both. I need to double check. Or maybe it's just Breaking. I can't remember, but I think it was from both shows. Anyways, you have a lot of screen time, but actual physical words said is like 41 anything. Words or something like that.
I can't remember exactly what I said on Better Call Saul, but the ones that I really remember is from Breaking Bad when I said vest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we're testing the vest, and then termínalo, you know.
Yes.
And I don't really remember anything else that I really said. On Better Call Saul, I had a little bit more. We had a little bit more dialogue.
You were more
a little bit more, and then we had a lot more screen time on Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Like I think on Breaking Bad, I think I did like 6 episodes, and on Better Call Saul, I did like 12 or 13.
Wow. And what was it like to have such, even when you're such a featured character, what was it like to not have a lot of speaking roles? Like, is it more challenging to not speak? I'm sure some people are jealous, like, oh, these guys barely had to say anything, but they still had prominent roles on the show. But for you, do you think it was more challenging to have less words to say and rely more on your emotions and body language?
In a way, yes. In a way, no. But the thing, in a way, yes, because as an actor, right, you think that you're gonna go in there, you're gonna go ahead and just talk and communicate, right? Because you're like, a lot of people say, oh, that's acting. But the way they had my brother and I look, it was like these guys don't really have to say a lot of things. They say it with their eyes and with their actions, the way they walk, the way they do everything. It's like we said more by not saying anything. And that's one thing that Vince Gilligan is a freaking genius. He said, less is more.
Who told you this? Sorry,
Vince Gilligan. He was like,
Vince Gilligan. Oh wow.
He said, less is more. He's like, look, what we had. The thing is funny because when we first got the job and we went to New Mexico, we did a Skype. Skype was cool before Zoom came in and before FaceTime came in. We did a Skype with them and other producers, and he talked to us and he's like, he basically gave us a whole rundown of what we're supposed to do on Breaking Bad. It's like, you guys are not gonna say a word, not gonna talk, but you guys are gonna, first you say you guys are gonna be the most badass characters, you're gonna be so freaking iconic and everything, but you guys are not gonna say a word. And we're like, what are you smoking?
Yeah,
You know, like
such a weird.
why would you think that we were gonna look cool not saying anything? He's like, you guys trust me. You guys are gonna see it. You guys are gonna be like, oh my god.
Yeah,
And
it's a tough pitch.
yeah, one thing that after we did the premiere for Breaking Bad, after that I went to the after party, and Aaron Paul, you know, we were a little tipsy. We're having fun. We're celebrating, and Aaron Paul, he's like, Danny, you have no idea what you guys just did. In my mind, I was like, he's like, what? In my mind, I'm thinking he's a little drunk, right? He's a little toxic. He's like, bro, he's like, what you guys pulled off on set with your brother is like, you have no idea, man. It's like, you guys are gonna be the most iconic TV characters, like the villains TV characters of all time. In my mind, I was like, I don't know, man. But she's like, remember, like 10 years after this, remember, like in 10 years, you'll remember what I just said.
So dope.
Sure enough, I'm like, fuck, that motherfucker was, he was.
Fast forward 10 years later.
Yeah, fast forward 10 years. It's like, it's being.
Breaking Bad was 2008 to 2013.
2013.
Better Call Saul was 15 to 22.
15 to 22, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Breaking Bad ended in September 29th, I think, of 2013. And still to this day, 11 years later.
Hit.
It's still
it's
like.
bigger than ever.
Always. And you see, when you go to Netflix, you start scrolling, you see, it just pops up. Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Was like.
Yeah.
And every now and then, my little picture of me when I'm like coming out of the vet, medical Saul, my picture comes out. I was like, oh, that's me. Shit.
That's dope, dude. That's
so it's so cool, man. So cool to have like
legacy,
to have all that, but like I'm still hungry for more. I don't want to. I mean, as much as I love all that, I don't want to just be remembered as the guy from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
This is. Yes. How do you had such a specific and iconic role, and people now see you as that. So do you feel like having this role of this specific type of character in a show like Breaking Bad, do you think this typecasted you in any way?
Absolutely. And it's a blessing and a curse.
Okay.
It's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because, obviously it opened so many doors for me, obviously. And like, for example, when, the music video that we did, you're like, oh, I want this guy, he's badass. Yeah. And the curse is because a lot of casting directors, I mean, who hasn't seen Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul? Like, mostly Breaking Bad. So casting directors that seen Breaking Bad, they already kind of look at us like, oh, these guys are fucking, they're mean, they're badass, It's like they could only see us as being those ruthless killers, and then they don't see us as this guy could be a dad, this guy could be a brother, he could be an uncle.
Yeah,
they don't see him like as a coach or something. For example, I mean, into boxing a lot in MMA, to be like, oh, he can't be a boxing coach. It's just he could just be a killer.
I see. Oh, that's so
tough, it sucks because they don't. It's like you don't get the opportunity to be able to show more than just a guy that doesn't talk, that kills people.
What advice would you give to someone who feels like they've been typecasted? Like for me, I have kind of been typecasted in a way as this video guy, right? I started out in hip hop, so people first saw me as like the hip hop director. Then I started doing pop girls, and they're like, oh, this guy does a lot of the pop queens. So even for me, I can't fully relate on an acting level, but in a certain way, people just see you as a certain way. So for a young actor who may have had a couple prominent roles, or maybe keeps getting booked for the same role, how do they break out of that role? Do they have to create it themselves?
Yeah, I mean, get a lot of different pictures on your profile. Get a lot of different pictures with hair. Like me, I have a lot of pictures with hair, no hair, like beard, no beard. I have like a lot of different looks. But like I said, like once the thing is, Breaking Bad is so big that everybody's seen it, even for like commercials. I don't really get booked for commercials because like one time they told one of my manager, they told her he's too recognizable. If you put him in this commercial, they already know he's the guy from Breaking Bad.
Oh, that sucks.
So it's kind of like, man, really, there goes the opportunity of being on something.
Yeah.
So, but it's not always bad though. Like I say, obviously, like when I end up working with you and then now we're here,
Yeah.
it was because you see me on the show. So,
Yeah.
like I say, it's a blessing and a curse.
You-
And I love the fact that I was part of, you could say, history. Kind of sometimes it kind of I kind of trip out on. I'm like fuck, I was in two of the greatest shows ever created in
Yeah.
history of television. So it's very humbling. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to just be remembered as a guy from Breaking Bad. I want to be.
Totally.
I don't want to be just that guy. I want to be able to remember for other things, like doing other roles, maybe producing, maybe one day directing,
Yeah,
and doing
totally.
other stuff. I want to be that guy.
Yeah, totally, man.
So
In 2016, you did the movie, or I think The Bloodfather came out with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Gibson. So
Yeah,
2016, The Bloodfather came out with Mel Gibson, and you know what's interesting? While the story is different, it looks kind of similar to Breaking Bad, and it feels kind of
a
similar.
little bit, yeah.
So what was your experience like on that, and how was it like working with Mel Gibson?
Mel Gibson, Bloodfather. How was my experience? It was really fun, man. To be honest, a lot of people had talked a lot of crap about Mel Gibson for stuff that he said when he was intoxicated, whatever. Which I don't really know exactly what he did, to be honest. I don't really judge people by what social media or the media throw out there. He was very, very, very cool dude, man. The first time I said that I went on, because I have a lot of Mayan tattoos on my back.
Yes,
and he knew exactly what it was. Because he did Apocalypto. Apocalypto is one of my favorite movies of all time. The detail on those movies, the costumes, like the way they talk, everything, it was so fucking awesome. So there you go. Once again, I'm working with somebody a movie that I seen in prison.
Yes.
So when I get out, it's like fuck. I'm gonna be working with this guy.
Unreal,
so it's like
bro.
fuck. There goes. I'm gonna scratch that off my list. Somebody that I wanted to work with. Somebody that I admire. So I go in there and I started talking to him and we started talking about for some reason we started talking about the movie and they started talking about the Mayans. So that guy knew like a lot of stuff about the Mayans. Huh? And then I told him, like, actually, I have a lot of. He's like, how do you know these things? He's like, oh, I'm from Honduras, so I'm Mayan descendant. It's like, actually, I think you probably appreciate this. So I took off my shirt and I showed him my whole back. He's like, oh, those are the hero twins. I was like, yep. And then he knew exactly what I had on my back, bro. It was crazy.
That's insane. That's cool how he knew.
Yeah, and the whole experience with them, like when we were like, he was very respectful. He was very cool, very professional. He would kind of get a little quiet before he doing the scenes because they had a lot, like good amount of dialogue. But
yeah,
he was really cool though.
Hell yeah,
I had a good experience with him. Diego Luna. Diego Luna was big too. I don't know if you're familiar with Diego Luna.
A little bit, yeah.
He did a movie which was actually like a very low budget movie, but him and Gael Garcia Bernal. They did a movie that's called Y Tu Mamá También. It's a movie obviously in Spanish, right? And then that's how they kind of rose to become what they are now. And I worked with Diego Luna, and it was so cool because I was the only one that really spoke Spanish. So he's a Mexican guy.
It's dope to have that connection with someone.
Oh man, he was so cool. He was kind of like the leader of us. So him and I, we had a little thing because I spoke Spanish. It was really cool, man. We ended up walking with him to like Target one day because he was gonna take a PlayStation to his son. I think he had an Xbox, and the son was like, "No, I need a PlayStation." So it's like we had to go switch it. Yeah. So it was cool, man. I had a good experience. I ended up meeting one of my buddies that I still talk to, Ryan Dorsey, was one of the other guys that was there. Richard Cabral.
Sick, dude.
It was a great experience, man.
That's awesome.
And it was also shot in New Mexico too, Albuquerque, and all over the place.
I'd love to dive into your experience with Clint Eastwood in The Mule. I think Clint Eastwood's such an interesting person. One of my favorites is Escape from Alcatraz, but he's now 94, I believe, and you worked with him in 2018. So that, or at least a movie came out in 2018. So regardless, he was in his mid to late 80s when you worked with him. I'm wondering, how is this man able to be so sharp still? Like, was he still pretty on top of it, or?
You know what's crazy? But again, man, it's like it's another person that I watched when I was in my jail cell. I see him. I seen Gran Torino.
Yeah.
And then I go and work with him. It's kind of like, what the fuck is going on right here? But he was such a workhorse, man. That guy, he would not even sit down. You know, they had the director chair.
Yeah.
He would not even like fully sit down. He would just
Mm.
kind of lean on it just to
Yeah.
kind of rest a little, and then he would go all over the place.
That's awesome, bro.
But I seen that, and he was doing that like 10, 12, 13 hours. The only time he would eat was just when we had to like eat. Even my ass would like sit down there, and I was like, I need to sit, you know, because
But he was just
he would just be on the whole time.
at that age too.
At that age, it was just like kind of, he would overlook everything. And one thing I tell you, like, I would not advise this to any actor, but it's something, like I said, I like breaking the rules sometimes, bro. Like, I went to the audition, right? Like I said, this is something you never do. I went to the audition in Warner Brothers. I go in there. I didn't really get a lot of direction
At the audition, you're saying?
for the audition. So I'm thinking, how would I? Because there was not a lot of dialogue. It was basically really simple. It was cut and dry. Like you do this, you kind of say something, and that's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I go in there in the audition room. They gave me the instructions, and I did my piece. And then I did it again, and I walked out. When I walked out, even though I did what they wanted for me to do, I kind of felt empty inside a little bit. I was like, I could have done more for that character. And I was walking away. I was going home. It's like, man, fuck that. I should probably just fucking go back.
No way.
But you never go back. You never go back to the audition room. It's almost like a sin, right?
Mm.
And I was like, man, fuck this. I just turned around and I went back. And
You went back?
I went back to the casting. I went back to the casting, bro.
And what did you tell him?
Bro, I went back and I went to the front office and I told the lady, the receptionist, is like, excuse me, man, is there any way I could talk back to, and I said the name of the casting director, and I forgot to tell her something, and she looked at me weird, like, oh my god, what are you doing back? You know, your piece, get the fuck out of here. You know, that kind of look.
Yeah.
They had somebody else in there. That person came out, and then the guy looks at me. He's like, "Hey, Daniel, come on." But before that happened, when I was waiting, I'm like, I should probably just fucking leave. I should probably not be here. But nah, don't be a bitch. Stay here. Fuck it, you're already here. Commit.
Yeah.
Then the guy calls me in. I went in there. He's like, hey, so what's up? What's going on? It's like, honestly, brother, I told him, and there was another lady at the honestly, brother, and I looked at the lady. It's like, hey, I just think that the character would do a lot more than what I did. You know?
Wow.
They looked at me. It's like, what do you think? What do you think he would do? What do you think the character would do? Well, I think the character is supposed to be, he's supposed to be taking care of the main guy. And this guy, you know, because the whole movie is about a Clint Eastwood, right? He's supposed to be Earl.
Mm-hmm.
His name is the guy characters. The guy in real life is based on a true story. It was a guy that was in the military that was old already, and he became basically a mule for the cartel. So in my mind, I'm like, this guy's military, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the guy's military, and I'm supposed to be escorting him to my boss. I don't know this guy, if he has a fucking gun, if he has a knife in his fucking shoe or his pocket. I know, because the whole scene was I was gonna fucking just frisk him real quick, and that was it. And I was gonna say like one word, like, hey, just come here, and that's it. So I told myself in my head, I'm like, I'm supposed to say more. So and I will see him, I will kind of look him down, and I kind of turn around. Like I said I will search him. I told him. He said, why would you search him? He said, because I don't know, that guy's military. So he could have a knife in his pocket, and if he does something to my boss, if he stabs my boss or tries to pull out a gun or something, even if he doesn't kill my boss, I'm gonna get killed. Yeah. So I gotta make sure that he doesn't have anything. He's like, all right, cool. So I did my piece. I searched him, and I told him something. I added like a word or two, right? And then they were like, that was great. Can you do it one more time? But this one at the end, he's like, at the end, we're gonna focus on your face. You want to see your face, that look that you gave him. So do the same exact thing. At the end, just look at look at Earl right here, and then just give him the same look that you gave him. So, boom, we did it. He's like, that was great. Thank you. Hey, thank you for coming back.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, bro. Amazing.
And then the next day, I got the job. I was like,
wow, bro. That's a cool story.
Because it took a little bit of balls to go back, bro. Because you never want to like go back, because then they're gonna like, you're gonna be like look blackballed.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's actually usually not advised for actors to go back to an audition if they feel like they didn't do well, right?
Honestly, to be honest with you, I had never heard anyone doing the audition and going back and try to like get a retry.
You knew the casting director though, right?
I didn't really know him.
You did.
I had gone to the casting director one time before for another movie, another film from Clint Eastwood,
Got it.
American Sniper.
Oh, you did.
I almost got the job. I was like it was between myself and another guy.
Got it.
And I was supposed to be playing. It was supposed to be not a bad guy. I was supposed to be jacking him, like a carjacking. And it's funny because the person that that guy did not look intimidating at all, bro. It's like, bro, like you look at me and look the other guy. It's like, I'll be scared to have you carjack me. If I look at the other guy kind of carjacking me, I'll be like, man, get the fuck out of here, go back home. That kind of thing. But luckily not luckily for him, but the scene got cut off.
Yeah.
But I was already like thinking like I really wanted to work with Clint Eastwood, right? So like I'm telling you, I felt so bad when I walked out of the room. I felt empty inside. I was like, I gotta go back. So I went inside. I did it. I got my opportunity.
That's dope, dude.
And then I'm telling you, and when I was in New Mexico working in the movie, I got really close. I kind of not close, but I got kind of cool with the script supervisor. Because she spoke Spanish. Not a lot of people spoke Spanish on set. So I spoke Spanish and she spoke Spanish. And she was almost kind of like a translator to a little bit, right? So I started talking to her, and I told her, like, because I had a very low amount of dialogue. And it's not that I wanted to do more, wanted to be more. It was more like I said, like the character. Because I was really into the characters. Like, what would this guy do? And I told her, like, hey, it's not that I'm trying to do a monologue or something, but I think the character would say a little more than that he's saying.
Yeah,
it's not really likely in real life.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you think he will say? He probably will say this, he probably will say that. It's like, okay, come with me. And she took me to Clint, and Clint was getting dressed, and basically what I told the casting directors, is like, hey, I would like search him. And I told Clint, and he's like, you know what? I think the character already knows your boss, so that's why you don't really have to worry too much about him like doing anything to him. But, okay. I didn't know the whole, because I didn't get the whole script. I didn't know that he already kind of knew him. But I was thinking just in my head, like I want to protect my boss, because if you do something to my boss, then my ass is fucking.
I know, yeah.
I'm washed. I'm gonna get killed. So he's like, all right, you know what? He's like, you know what? He was getting dressed. He's like, you know what? When we shoot it, we'll figure it out. Cool. And sure enough, we started doing the scene, and then they wanted for one of the actors to have to say something, to have like a cue for something. And I looked at the script supervisor. It's like, hey, this might probably when I will say I just checked them, And it was very minimal, but I added kind of like a little bit of my own thing.
Got it.
Because
cool,
I wanted the character to be like real. There was another scene when we were at have you seen the movie?
I haven't seen that one, no.
But I don't want to spoil it, but there was another scene where I was supposed to be taking care of him, and they wanted for me to drink alcohol, because I'm just chilling. And I told him, like, nah. He's like, I can't. I'm not. A real fucking dude like would not be drinking and partying, because if you get intoxicated, then you'll not be able to see everything. I'm supposed to be taking care of this guy. Once again, I told him, it's like, if this guy, anything happens, anybody hops over the fence into the mansion, and I don't catch them because I'm intoxicated, because I'm having party, because I'm looking at the girls, I'm gonna be fucking fucked. I'm like programmed. That's my.
It's cool that you understand the character so deeply to know what.
I really got into it.
That's really important, man. Directors will love you, man. That's why.
And it's funny because at the beginning they were like, why? It's like, yeah, because I mean, yeah, I could just party like everybody else, but my boss is partying. My boss.
I see.
I can't party because if I party, then somebody comes in, it's my ass.
Yeah.
I'm protecting him. I'm not supposed to be partying with them.
Right.
I'm protecting him. And they were like, oh, all right. He's like, but you go, I told me, you could give me a cigar or something so I could look busy. You know, because they wanted for me to be busy. It's like, yo, boy, you want me to be busy? Just give me like a cigar or something. I'll smoke a cigar. I'll smoke cigarettes. I don't care.
Right.
And yeah, but yeah,
amazing.
It was cool, man. It was a really cool experience to work with. And it's one I think aside from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, that's one of my favorite sets.
It's awesome.
Like ever, yeah.
Heck yeah, bro. Heck yeah. So I want to move on to talking about Hollywood and the industry today. Obviously, there was COVID, which had a huge impact on the industry. And then after COVID, we kind of went into weird economic times, and now we're post-strikes. So how do you feel about where Hollywood is at today, and how do you feel about the outcome of the strikes? Just keeping it 100, you know?
Keeping it 100. Okay, so COVID, obviously, it fucked everything up, right? And it was really like, it was very, very slow, or basically there was no work at all. When we did Better Call Saul the last season, it was during the COVID.
Got it.
Which was, they had to do the testing, they had to get the shots. Obviously, I mean, I'm not like, if I want to put something in my system, I gotta know exactly what the fuck I'm putting in. I think the vaccines were like put out too fast.
They were very fast.
Yeah. For you to just be like, all right, here, shoot me. It's like, I don't want to be a guinea pig. So, but it was basically either you get the shot and work, or you don't get the shot.
And you don't work.
And you don't work.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, we were going to do a like meet and greet at the Breaking Bad store. So it's like, I was like, fuck, I'm going to be losing out on making a little bit of change here at the Breaking Bad store. And I'm going to miss out on working on the show because I don't want to take the shot.
Yeah.
It was like, well, fuck it. I took it, right? That's basically the only thing that we ended up working on, because it was so slow. It was like so slow. And after the whole COVID thing, it was still really slow. Then we got the strike.
Yeah.
The strike. I honestly think that the whole strike, I think we kind of went backwards. You think we
went backwards because of the strikes?
It's supposed to be we won, like, I don't even know the statistics, but supposed to be we got a little bit more. That could have been what we should have gotten back in 2017, because 2017, when they did the whole deal, there was a lot of loopholes because nobody knew about the whole new media, which is the apps, right?
Which apps? You're talking about like Netflix,
Hulu.
Yeah,
Prime.
got it.
They can't really supposedly track the residuals or something. The residuals on Netflix or all that.
There are no
apps there
residuals.
is shit.
Yeah.
The residuals that were really nice was when we used to be on the regular channels. Network
TV. Well, that's what Breaking Bad was before.
Yeah.
It was, right?
Yeah, and AMC, but even AMC would be nice little residuals.
Yeah.
Now the residuals are not that great. The residuals for Netflix and all those apps they're shit.
Post strikes, are the residuals better, or from you or your
I mean,
partners, peers?
Well, that's only for jobs that you got after the strike, and then
it doesn't apply to jobs previous to the strike.
Nah.
Really?
Yeah, it applies to new jobs,
like new contracts, new jobs.
Yeah, new contracts. It's okay. So we signed this day. After this day, if you get a job, this is gonna be. They're gonna give you a little more. Anything else besides that, then they will have to like fork out a lot of money. So it would not be. It will not benefit any production or any network.
Now it's all about streamers basically, and streamers are so profit driven. So all the big dogs like Netflix, HBO, Hulu, they're looking to maximize profits and minimize expenses, right? And by doing that, they're offering these large buyout deals, they're minimizing residuals, and it trickles down, right? It trickles down to everybody, down to the crew members, down to the actors. I I would love to see, and I don't know if there's any way to figure this out, but I would really love to see I would love to see a system where people like down the funnel, everybody gets fair residuals. And I don't know if that just comes down to the CEOs and the executives just taking less money. That's what people are saying, but I don't know what your thoughts are, you know?
You already know how it is, man. The greed,
Yeah.
the corporate greed, you know? Corporations
It's a real
are always
thing.
gonna make as much money as they want to make.
Corporations need to go like this on the charts, the stock charts and everything. So
Yeah.
if any time affects that, if they flatline or go down, investors disappear, their stock goes down. So it's a dance, bro. And it sucks because
it sucks.
it
Fucks up the little guy.
It always does.
Always.
Okay. For you, are you still making residuals from Breaking Bad?
I'm still making a little some here and there, but then I really like, oh my God, I'm gonna pay my rent. I'm gonna do it's
Really?
like it's not. I mean, every now and then, like 2-3 months, you get like a little something, but it's not a lot though.
It's not.
It's not like Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul.
Oh,
They
yeah.
get those. I mean, obviously they're the top dogs of the food chain, but I mean, it was just like I said that deal that they made, like I think 2017. They should have done the deal that we just made. That should have been back in 2017. And then what we got right now should have been more.
Got it.
Because a lot of people sold. I mean, I don't know. I could go on and on, but I think the deal that we got wasn't not fair.
Not fair enough.
For what they get, because they get a lot of money. All these platforms, they get so much money.
Yeah.
They want to just give you pennies.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Where are we headed from here, and where are we headed with AI?
With the AI, that's something.
Face cloning and 3D scans of your identity and your likeness. Are you now having to negotiate that on your contracts?
I think so. I to be honest, I haven't really like works like in a little bit, because like I say, we got it really slow, and I kind of like whatever, man. I started streaming on gaming.
Yes, you're streaming on Twitch now.
You're streaming on Twitch because, like, the thing is, one thing I have always loved is interacting with fans.
Yeah.
And I always put myself in a position, like, if I was a fan, what would be cool of somebody that I look up to? Imagine, like, somebody is a gamer, right? And then, like, oh, shit, I could play with Danny Moncada from Breaking Bad.
That's cool.
And then I could talk to him. I could ask him questions live, and he'll answer me.
That's dope. That's like interacting with fans and
so so like, and I always try to put that in my head. It's like, okay, so I try to play a lot of games because I could kind of tap into everybody. Everybody come and talk to me, and I play with the viewers.
That's awesome.
And so it's pretty cool. So like I said, I always kind of look at things that I would like to do. Like, for example, like when I was working in the movie with Mel Gibson, we went to a UFC event. And then the whole time I was working with them, I didn't ask them for pictures. And that day I was like, you know what? We're not working on sets. I'm asking for a picture. So I was like, hey Mel, is there any way I could get a picture? And I pulled out my phone. He's like, yeah. And he just took my phone. He basically snatched my phone and took the picture. So a lot of times when people like want to take a picture, I would just take their phone and be like, let me take. Because I remember that it was really cool that he took the selfie.
Yeah.
So
it means a lot more to a fan.
Yeah, it means like he got the fucking phone.
Yeah, that's cool.
So the whole thing with the whole gaming, I try to always bring that aspect of why, if I was a fan, what would I like?
Yeah.
For what would my experience be?
What would I want from my experience?
What I'm from? Yeah, exactly. So I always put myself in that position, and I talk to the fans. I play the game, and I have a live chat, and I try to talk to them as much as I can. And a lot of times I get killed because I'm talking to them, but it's like,
it's
I
fun.
don't give a fuck about the game, like how many times I get killed. I'm not trying to be like a pro.
Yeah.
I just want to have fun, interact with the fam, and hang out. You know, that's
awesome.
what it's all about.
And you dress up in your outfit.
I put the suit on, bro.
That's dope.
I'm not gonna lie to you. At the beginning, I didn't. Because you know about retention, right? Audience retention.
Yes.
So at the beginning, I don't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know what I was doing, but I told myself, look, man. Eventually I'll start making money, because you know, the game industry is way bigger than film.
Huge. We were just talking about this on our last episode. We talked about XQC got a $100 million contract with Kick, which is the Twitch competitor.
Yeah.
So for you, and I love this entrepreneurial spirit, is your vision to obviously still continue your acting career, but while you're doing the acting stuff to have that online presence and to have some sort of deal with a Twitch or a Kick in the future?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So obviously I still want to continue doing the acting, but like I said, acting was a little slow. So I'm not the guy, like for example, during COVID, I was not the guy that was just standing at home and be like, oh my God, I feel sorry for myself.
Yeah,
I was trying to make something happen. I remember when I hit you up one time, like, hey, what kind of camera should I get? Because I was, with my ex, like I was, she wrote a short, and I really fucking liked it, and I was like, fuck, I need to get like a camera so we could shoot this shit. Cause first we wanna do it on a 360 camera, but it's like, nah, bro, you gotta look professional, right? So that's when I hit you up and you told me like, oh, we can maybe get a Black Magic, and so I started asking a lot of people, right? And we ended up getting a Sony A7 and a A7 III Sony. Then after that, I got an A7S III. Then after that, I got 2 Red cameras. So I got really, really depth into the whole filming, right? And unfortunately, we didn't. We ended up parting ways and everything. But I got the equipment. I bought the equipment, so I could have been like, oh, you know what? I could just sell the equipment, but why would I when I already got the bug? I want to be able to create my own things instead of waiting for somebody to give me an opportunity to get a job. You have to, because I have a lot of shit in my head. Like, there's so much in my head that I had that sometimes when I talk, I kind of get sidetracked because I'm just thinking so much.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I'm thinking and I'm visualizing what I'm saying, kind of thing. So it's kind of weird, but sometimes a little bit of a distraction.
This is totally with the theme of the show. The show is called, it's ourselves. It's stories about how we build things by ourselves for ourselves, right? And so your story right here is showing what you did for yourself and how you're going to continue to create opportunities for yourself. I think that's beautiful, man. I think that's like a huge message to anybody out there. It's important to not wait around. I've made the mistake of waiting around for people to give me opportunities.
Yeah.
And I feel like a fucking idiot sometimes because I'll be sitting around waiting for months. Hey, is there anything new? Hey, is there anything new? Call my agent, my rep, call people, my teams. What's going on? Is there anything out there? And when they say no, I just it hurts every time. And then I just realized after all this time, like, what are we waiting for? Am I going to just sit around home and just wait? It's the same for you for acting in any field. Don't wait for people to create opportunities for you because they're not. Nobody cares for you more than you care for yourself, and nobody's going to look out for you as much as you look out for yourself. So I'm just inspired by you saying that because even at your level, working on one of the biggest shows in the world, you're still having to create opportunities for yourself,
Either that or I could just wait, like you said, and then regret it later on. It's like I'm older. I'm like, fuck, I should have just pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
It's like, no, man. Try to pull the trigger right now and don't just try to do one thing. Try to have multiple things to do, like diversify.
That's why we're doing the podcast.
Diversify. Like I mean, I'm heavy into like crypto. I'm heavy into the cinematography. There's a lot of stuff that I gotta learn still. Like I'm like I stream 3 times a week on Twitch.
Yeah, you're dedicated.
Under Daniel Moncada TV. You could find me there, and you guys could go ahead and
Daniel Moncada TV on Twitch. Daniel Moncada TV. Find him on Twitch. Just had to give you the plug, man.
But that we could just and see, the thing is, a lot of people want to be, you do have to be a subscriber to be able to play with you. Nah, just fucking come. Just be respectful. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
Be respectful.
Yeah.
And you can come and play. If you want to fucking subscribe, if you want to do me a little donation, obviously, I mean, I gotta pay the bills and all that, but my dream is, like we said, finance, right? The whole thing with Kid giving freaking the one guy $100 million,
XQC,
$100 million for 2 years.
That's insane.
LeBron James makes 96 for the Lakers, bro, for 2 years. So he's getting more than LeBron. And the gaming industry is a lot bigger.
That's insane, filming. Dude. I can't believe it. For playing video games, bro.
I know. Trust me. I did so much research, and I was like, I need to get back into the gaming because I have been, like I was saying earlier, I was playing video games when I was like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
I used to go to the store and I would just kind of like just stay there and fucking put like little coins in there and just play Pac-Man. I forgot the name of that game, but it was kind of like one with a little stick where you have the ball just hit and we just bounce and kind of like do things. I grew up playing and I have always loved playing. So the fact that I think about it now that I could actually make money and maybe make a lot of money got me to the idea is like you should like start streaming.
Yeah.
Because my goal is eventually make enough money that I could just have my mom retire.
Have your mom retire.
Yeah.
So you want your
basically retire because now she's kind of like semi-retired, but I want her just to like don't have to worry about nothing. Like
yeah, you want to take care of
get
your
her
mom.
a car, maybe get her a house, and just be like,
Love
here's
that,
this chunk of change, just
yeah,
take it, and
yeah,
you don't have to worry about shit no more. That's my goal.
Yeah, man.
I'm 44. I could say I'm not like young, but I'm young enough to be able to be like, I want to be able to take
Super
care of
young,
my mom
bro.
first,
Super
and then I'll
worry about yourself.
worry about myself and then take care of myself. I mean, if I could do both at the same time, that'd be awesome. But first, it gotta be realistic. My mom doesn't have like 20 years to live. Mine's already a little older, so it doesn't have like 20, 30 years to live. So it's like
it's more urgent.
So it's urgent. You
totally.
know? So that's why I wanna, like I said, I wanna be able to do different things instead of just like waiting. Oh, when's my next big acting job is gonna be? A lot of people think, oh, you're an actor, you made millions. So it's like, it's not that easy, man. It's not as easy as people think.
And it's not consistent.
It's not consistent.
Right? So you'll have big waves and big moments and big checks. And then I'm sure when it's less busy, it's not as fruitful and abundant, right?
Exactly. And it showed when we had the COVID, and after the COVID we had the strike.
Oh,
and right now there's hardly any work.
Beat down. This industry just got beat
down. And that's when I chose. It's like I need to like find something else to do besides just waiting for somebody to give me an opportunity. Got into the streaming. I eventually like I said, aside from being able to take care of my mom and take care of myself, whatever, I want to be able like one day be able to kind of be able to produce and do other things.
That'd be awesome, bro.
Like make my own stories because I have like a lot of stories. Like
I'm sure you do.
Like my whole prison story that I have. I'm telling you, I kind of partially said. I have a lot in my head that I want to be able to just tell to the world and be like, oh shit, that's some real shit.
I think that'd be awesome, bro. I think you should absolutely do that,
Yeah, eventually.
You mentioned crypto. You got into crypto and Bitcoin's at all-time highs, $75,000. Everything's booming.
It hit 76,343 earlier.
Insane. We're post-election. People are seeing this hype now all of a sudden, and it's just a crazy bull run in crypto stocks. I guess, how do you feel about the boom in crypto, and do you think it's a reliable investment for people? I
will say yes, if you really go deep and do your research, because there was a big thing on for example, the Dogecoin, right? A lot of artists, like a lot of like people, like because there was a lot of like rappers and artists that they were like saying, oh, I bought some Dogecoin when it was like 30-40 cents, and then a lot of people were like, oh my god, is the next big fucking thing is gonna go to $3, it's gonna go $10. It's like, bro, first you gotta see the market cap.
Yes.
The how many tokens there are and how many tokens there are, the market cap. You got to do a lot of research, right? You'll be like, okay, how many? If you do the math, is like, how if this coin was to get to this amount of money, how many millions would it be like on the market cap, on coin market cap, right? Yes. Coin market cap is basically what it tells you, like the number of where all the crypto coins are where the crypto is at. Like for example, Bitcoin is always the first, Ethereum is always second, and it goes, and most likely Binance.
Solana.
I haven't really kind of like dive into crypto. I kind of like stood away, but I have like a little something in there. I just haven't really touched it because I know eventually it'll just pick up. A lot of people, the problem is like, oh, I lost so much money. You haven't lost it unless you sell
it.
Once you sell it, then you fucking lost it. And a lot of people always lose it or sell it when it's down because they get paranoid.
They panic.
Like the whole thing about Dogecoin, like, oh, it's gonna be the next big thing, and if it's gonna go to $20, it's like impossible to go to $20. Why? Because you got to do the research. Get this, and that, and then you do the research, you do the math, and be like, oh,
It's not possible because of
the market cap will be like bigger than how many more millions than Bitcoin is making. So it can't.
It can't.
So it doesn't add up. So
and Bitcoin's finite. Some of these coins are infinite. So if it's infinite, it'll never even have scarcity is important with coins, I think.
Like Bitcoin only has 21 million.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin after it hits the 21 million,
there's no more.
There's no more.
Which I think is estimated to be like the year 2100 or something around there or something like that.
I don't know, but
it's like every 4 years it halves.
It halves.
Or every 2 years or 4 years, right? So
I can't remember, to be honest. It's, like I said, I kind of like stood off a little
bit.
But it just happened not too long ago. But it's only 21 million. I think it's in circulation right now. It's a little between, I can't remember the number. Like I said, I haven't really gone deep. But it's between 7 and 18. I think it was like 17 like last year. And I don't think it's 18 yet. But once they hit the 21, there's no more.
No more.
So what does that mean? It's going to be more valuable.
It's like gold, digital gold.
And the thing about gold, I mean, gold is gold.
Yeah.
But Bitcoin is Bitcoin. There's transactions. Oh, you could use it for money laundering. Like, bro, money laundering, you cannot money launder something that's going to stay on the blockchain forever.
Yes.
There's proof. There's proof. You can't erase that data.
You can't.
It's like cash. Oh, no. Cash, you could do money laundering with cash because you could just easily like just wash it, right? Mm-hmm. Like on Breaking Bad, you fucking wash it. On crypto, you can't wash it because you send it to one wallet, you send it to another wallet, you send it to another wallet, but you could always track those wallets.
Yes.
It stays in the blockchain, never goes away.
Yeah.
So there is no, I mean, can you kind of do stuff? Yes, of course. It's like anything else in the world, but it's really hard or almost impossible to just like make it wash. Even though there was these guys like in North Korea or something, they were doing a lot of those things, right? I think they had how many million? I can't remember I'm smoking crack now, but they had like done like a biggest heist in the world in crypto, right?
I've heard of it. I heard of this. Yes.
Guess how they got found? How they caught them?
They traced the wallets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then all that stuff came back, and those guys went to jail. And this like a lot of guys. This what's his name? Sag. His name is Sag on Twitter. That guy, like, he goes on like.
He hunts people down, or what?
Hunts people down. He's a vigilante guy.
That's crazy.
He just got like some guys that stole. They pretended to be somebody from an exchange, and they called this guy.
That happened to me, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I thought it was real. Because you know what's crazy? Somebody from Coinbase called me. They said, hey, your account's being compromised. They had like my info, my address. I'm like, oh, this is real. And they're like,
not that hard.
No, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna send you an email, and the email came from Coinbase. Like, I looked at the domain at Coinbase.com. Like, oh, this must be real.
And you clicked.
Then I freaking clicked it, and my dumbass gave them my password. They only stole maybe like $300 worth of Ethereum. Thank God, because as soon as I saw them get in, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. And immediately I logged them out and changed my password. But dude, I realized how easy it is to scam people, and also how I was kind of gullible, but I didn't believe it until I got the email from at Coinbase.com.
It looks so legit, right?
It looks so legit.
Yeah. So this guy's called like somebody like exactly like you. I think I can't remember from where they said that they were from, but it was from one of the big exchanges, right? I can't remember, Gemini, I can't remember. So they got in contact with this person, and they told him, hey, something about being compromised. We got to change your blah 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 blah. Can we have remote access to your computer or something? God. And he said, yeah. So they went in there. Bing, 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 bam, bam. Thank you, man. They took all his shit. And then they have a recording of those guys. Like, oh my fucking God. Oh my God. Did we just did that? Oh my fucking God. Like, we just did $243 million. It's like, bro, like almost $250 million they had stole.
Bro, come on. You're obviously going to get caught.
They really thought that
There's no
they
way.
didn't.
Bro.
And yeah, so they took all that guy's money. And then the thing is, you know
Ridiculous.
how they got caught?
How?
Because they were stupid. They were like going all over the fucking place, blowing out the money, like spending so much money getting expensive cars. It's like, bro, if you don't have, like, people are gonna know if something happened.
For
you
sure.
just start like buying like all kinds of cars
For
and just
sure.
gifting people like
For
a lot of
sure,
stuff.
dude.
Like
You're always going to.
partying, going to parties, spending like $200,000-$300,000 a night.
There's like the kids in Miami.
Yeah.
That one dude, he stole money from people and
Yeah.
just was partying, going to the clubs, went to 11, strip club. It's so obvious, man. You look like a child. What do you do? You're not a trust fund baby. Crypto? Come on, man. You know?
It's so sad because you're like, why? Why? I mean,
Validation, desperate to look cool.
or you want
and-
people to think that you're cool. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you're just trying to get caught, bro. And that's how
course.
all these people get caught, because they want to start buying like big things.
Yeah.
You know? That's why like giving the movies and shows like with talk about like, you know, making money with drugs is like Goodfellas. I just watched Goodfellas the other day, and then everybody started just buying shit, and the guys like, "What the fuck are you doing? You buying shit? Go fucking return that shit." Somebody got the wife a coat and he's like, "What the fuck did I do? You Tony, you can't fucking be doing that." And then he's like, "Go return that shit. Go back outside. Go dump that shit." And there's like somebody bought a car for the lady. He's like, "What the fuck?" So they would be sending everybody to go return the stuff, because that's how you get caught. You know?
Yes, trackable.
And even after like people
Traceable.
watching all these movies, right? Because they probably watch them and they still do it. It's kind of like, are you dumb?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, dude. So one question that's super important that I would love your opinion on and your answer on. So let's say there's a young Latino boy, he immigrates here and he wants to be the next big actor. What steps does he need to take to get recognized?
Acting school.
Acting school.
Yeah, definitely take some acting school, acting classes, and try to like really learn the game. You know, to learn the game, because you could like everybody could be like, oh, I want to be an actor, but it's really hard to just be an actor.
How do you learn the game?
How you learn the game? You just got to do it. You know, the thing is about nowadays, there's so much research that you could just do online and go to YouTube, and even if you don't have the money to go to acting classes. Back in like 2013, 14, I would watch a lot of videos on YouTube because I was working a lot, so I couldn't really go to classes. I would watch a lot of YouTube videos on acting classes, because you learn so much. You learn so much on the web now.
Yeah.
All you got to do is just look it up.
YouTube University, TikTok University.
And yeah, and you learn so much shit. Like people learn how to cook.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like for a video, so you could learn how to act a little bit. Especially if, for example, if somebody comes, let's say, for example, from Honduras or something, right?
Yeah.
And they went to theater over there. Obviously, it's gonna be different over here because it's English and everything. But you could maybe come over here and go to theater for like Spanish. If you speak English, you already come from another country, and you speak English even better because you could be bilingual.
Yes.
But at the same time, though, it'll probably be a little hard because like I said, it's. Obviously over there they don't make any films, right? Because there's no money. It's really hard.
There's no industry out there.
Yeah,
like
there's no resources basically.
Yeah.
Right. So they want to come over here and do it, and a lot of people have that. I want to do it, but the thing is, the most important thing I could tell somebody is the best advice I could give to someone that wants to get into the acting, a young kid or young child or young man, a young woman, to not give up. Stay consistent. Consistency is the key. If you're not staying consistent,
well said.
You're gonna try it and be like, oh my god, I failed, and just fucking bounce.
Yeah, the people who never win are the ones who quit, basically, right? So
you have to like be persistent and stay consistent and believe and stay true to yourself.
100%.
Because I could tell you go to acting school, do this or that, but if you do it and you don't stay consistent with it, it's not gonna work.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally. So we are at the final segment of the show. So here's what I'm about to do. Okay. in honor of Breaking Bad. I figured this would be a fitting color.
Yeah.
So here I have a deck of cards, okay? There's
Yes,
50 cards in here. I want you to open this deck up. Pick any card that speaks to you. It could be the top one. It could be one in the middle. I'll let you decide. But I want you to pick a card, read the question, and then give us an answer that comes straight from your heart.
All right.
Okay?
Ourselves. Oh, I'm not gonna look. Is that writing here or that's it?
That's right. No, you could. It's okay. You could hold it. Yeah, there's writing, but you could. Oh no, that's backwards. That's backwards.
Okay.
Flip it. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Wow, so here. Randomly.
Damn, dude. I love the dedication. You really went with what destiny gave to you.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh shit. What's one thing you would like to see more in the world? Peace.
That's an amazing answer. It's such a good answer.
It's peace, man. It's peace. The reason why I say that is that why would this motherfucker say peace? Because I had so much fucking darkness in my life growing up and like going to prison, seeing all kinds of crazy shit. There's like I just want peace and love, man. Why
Peace and love.
People have so much fucking hatred, man. If you're like not from the same sex or you're a different color or you're from a different country, it's like at the end of the day we all want the same shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day we all want the same shit. You know?
Peace and love, brother.
It's peace and love, man.
Peace and love. Well, listen, man, I'm going to switch back here. We're going to go back to the vibes. Daniel, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank the amazing crew behind the scenes, behind the set, who helped put this together. If you're new to the show, please like, subscribe on all platforms. This is super important to us, and we want to build this show and provide amazing educational content from amazing, talented people like Daniel himself. So again, thank you, everyone. But most importantly, I want to give a big round of applause to ourselves. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Thank you.